Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
Happy Monday. A lot to talk about with the Mariners. Curtis Rogers in for Michael Bumpus. Curtis,
Hey.
I totally saw the Mariners sweeping the Tigers. I'm assuming
yeah.
you did too.
Totally.
Honestly, it was by less runs in the ninth than I thought.
If you go back and play our Friday show, it was full of optimism.
Yes.
It was full of joie de vivre.
I know, that's
right. It was everything hopeful about this team.
You know what
we
I'll
knew
say?
it was happening.
While it was not full of everything hopeful per se, I will say, and you can go back and listen, that both of us on that Friday show were like, why does anyone want to give up on the season? It's July.
True.
Like, I know that you just got swept by the Yankees, particularly if you're from here, but also anyone in baseball. You kind of grow up hating the Yankees, and so that one stings. And just the way that they lost, you had a no-hitter going into the eighth, right? Carried it through the seventh. No-hitter going into the eighth, up 5-0. And you lost? What are we talking about? So I get it. We were all feeling it. But we were standing on business.
Yes.
10 toes down, saying, guys, look, why would you not want to buy at the deadline, really push forward? Maybe you can take a win from Detroit. Maybe you can have a really competitive series and feel really good. Little did I know they'd be putting up, double-digit runs in 2 games.
It was the most runs. It was the most runs they scored in a series since 2002.
That was great.
35 over a 3-game stretch, and 2 of those games were started by all-star pitchers.
And now we got to watch Cal in the Derby. Before we get to any of that, though, before we get to some other news we've got around Seattle, let's start with this series. Just taking a quick look back, what we liked, what we loved, and what we disliked. Curtis, what did you like?
What I loved Cal's Friday night, specifically.
Swinging a well-hit ball deep to left field, and Grandma get out the right bread and mustard. It is grand salami time. Cal Raleigh with his 3rd grand slam of the season puts this game away. Number 38 on the year. He at number 37 in the 8th inning, and now he is just 1 home run away from Barry Bonds for hitting the most home runs the season prior to the All-Star break. Number 38 way up into the bleachers in left field here at Comerica Park.
It's funny because coming into the series, I think maybe everybody was like, oh, maybe Cal's starting to cool down a little bit. He only hit the 1 home run.
He hadn't been making a ton of contact. He'd become like that 3 true outcome. He was either getting a home run, walking, or striking out.
Yeah.
Or
and
flying out, I should say,
he hits the home run earlier in that game and then caps off the blowout victory with the grand slam in the 9th inning of Friday's game on Apple TV. It looked so crystal clear. And watching that
saw
ball,
it in 5K.
I could track the entire flight pattern of that ball as it landed in the stands. But that was a phenomenal start to the series. And, little did we know that was only going to be like the start of how good things got over the weekend.
I've been running out of ways. I ended up tweeting holy because I couldn't think of how else to describe what I wanted to say. And what I wanted to say was, after watching him get his 37th home run, who I didn't know that it would leave the park, I thought, like, is this going to hit the wall? Is this going to be like a ground rule double kind of situation? No, it ended up being a home run just over. You see the guys in the bullpen freak out, lifting their arms. And then when he hit the 38th, there's a moment before he hits it where you think, it would be really cool if he did this, but
I'm not expecting it.
I'm not expecting it because you just think, like, this is too unbelievable. It's laughably kind of unbelievable. And then he hits the home run. It's a grand slam, and his final home run of the first half, or just before the All-Star break, I should say, ends up being a grand slam. Yeah, you don't get to 39 like Barry Bonds. You ended up with an extra stolen base, though.
That's true.
We'll get to that a little bit later. But you did end up with your final home run, number 38, being a grand slam. And, yeah, I think that's how I would sum up the first part of the season for Cal. I'm fascinated to see how they pitch to him in the second half, how this team responds. But it is that feeling that I had a hard time articulating of, there's no way this happens again, right? And then it does, and then you run out of more words to say.
Well, and if you ask Cal what was the best part of his weekend, he would have to say the sweep. Like that's what he's basically like, well, I got to do my part. Like this is what I'm doing right now to help the team out. If it means I got to hit 60 plus home runs, I'll do it because that's just what he's capable of right now. But him having that moment on Friday night leading into what Saturday was for this team and then Sunday, the craziness of yesterday's ball game, it was so fun to see.
Speaking of the craziness of yesterday's ball game, let me get to what I like. I'm going to co-sign on Cal, and I'm going to add Jorge Polanco having a really solid series. This was Sunday, pinch hit home run in the ninth.
Here's the stretch, and the 1-2 on the way to Polanco. Swing and a well-hit ball deep to right field. How about this? Goodbye, baseball. And Polanco unties it. The Mariners' fourth home run of the afternoon, and it's now the Mariners 5 and the Tigers 4. It is home run derby before the home run derby in Atlanta. So Jorge Polanco with home run number 15 on the year. It's the Mariners 5 and the Tigers 4.
Here's what I really liked about this series. You had Cal getting 2 home runs on Friday, including a grand slam. They absolutely dominate the Tigers, and all of it happens on Apple TV, so there's more of a national audience, national voices that are watching this, and you're kind of treated to like the Cal story then, and that's really awesome. I also liked, and I don't think Cal would take this as a slight, that Cal was not the story of the next 2 games. He had no other hits. He walked. He was intentionally walked and drew walks, and then had a sac fly, still accounted for an RBI. But Cal factor in terms of knocking in runs, getting hits for the next 2 games, and the Mariners still won. That's what we'd been begging for.
And not just winning, but putting up tons of runs.
Involved. And so that's what I really, really liked. And I liked that Randy had been heating up, but I liked that Polanco and some other guys who had been guys that we were praising back in April and heading into May and then had kind of gotten hurt or gone a little quiet. I liked that they were part of a story again.
Well, and you look at Polanco's numbers in May and June, only had 2 combined home runs between those 2 months, one on May 12th against the Yankees and then one on June 3rd Guardians. So far in July, he already has 4 home runs. That pinch hit home run yesterday, which was his first career pinch hit home run. He had a 3-run shot against the Yankees in that 10-inning loss. But, yeah, he has looked like he's found a little bit of that April magic that we were just kind of like, I don't know if that was a fluke or if that's who Jorge Polanco is. He's got the OPS back up to 785, which is respectable. That is a very passable OPS, especially for somebody that's going to be DHing a lot, that's going to be playing, a little bit in the field for the rest of the season. But that is a very important bat for what the Mariners want to do. And when he is hitting, it lengthens your lineup. It's not just JP, Julio, Cal, and Randy.
Yeah.
You can add a 5th to that. You can add, a 6th to that.
So from the series, you liked Cal's Friday night. I liked Jorge Polanco having a solid series and getting that pinch hit home run. What did you love from the series?
I loved Julio's entire weekend. It wasn't just with the bat, which is the standout thing. It's the thing that we've been clamoring the most for, but also coming up with the nice outfield assist yesterday, getting Gleyber Torres going to third. But the bat, to me, that is the most important thing that we saw this weekend. And in all the runs that were scored, it was Julio Rodriguez, not just, driving in runs, but putting them in the seats.
Here's the 1-2. Swung on. That is Verling back. He's looking up, and it is in the seats. It is gone. Home run, Julio. He has homered in 3 straight games. A missile the other way over the right field wall, and Julio is surging. He has cut the lead in half. It's Tigers 2, Mariners 1.
It's funny because you look in the context of his season, and that was a really standout weekend, but it was a standout weekend by just baseball standards. OptaStats had this. Julio's 17 total bases, 4 walks, and 2 steals over this weekend's 3-game. Only 2 other players in the modern era have reached those numbers in a 3-game series. Barry Bonds did it in 1987 with the Pirates, and then Mike Schmidt did it in 1975. Mike Schmidt is an Inner Circle Hall of Famer. Barry Bonds should be an Inner Circle Hall of Famer. Not to say that that's what Julio's path is going to be, but like those 2 are 2 of the best to ever do it. And the fact that Julio was able to match those kinds of numbers in this weekend series, it shows I've kind of known this season, like, this is what you're capable of, dude. Like, this is who you can be.
Yeah.
And to see it on display against the best team in the American League, that was what I loved this weekend.
I think that's why I always hit pause and even get defensive people who say, no, I think Julio's a bust and it's not going to work out. And it's like, wait a minute. Like, this guy has it. He has all of that skill. He has all of that potential. He's got this, you can, cringe at star power, but it's because he has all of these weapons. The limitations are self-imposed, whether it's tweaking his swing, whether it's mental, whether it's a launch angle, an attack angle, whatever it is that's getting more ground balls this year, trying to cut down on strikeouts, whatever approach he's making, all of the limitations he has are self-imposed. It is not that he doesn't have it in terms of like already possessing that capability, and that's what makes Julio so fascinating. It's why I push back on that idea of him not having it, and that's why I get excited about not just a single game, but about a series where he absolutely takes off, because you go, ooh, what if Julio hits the ground running against Houston?
What if this is the Julio?
Would you almost rather that there was this series against Houston coming up beginning, let's say
Today?
tomorrow, as opposed to Friday?
Oh, absolutely.
Or does Julio kind of benefit from having a week off?
It can't hurt, but for momentum's sake, which I know a lot of people are like, momentum doesn't exist, but I think it does in baseball. I think Julio having these 4 days off, it will be hard to get back to what he had in this Tigers series just immediately with Houston coming to town on Friday. But I think just you have this series coupled with the pressure being off of, showing up to the All-Star game and playing and having to go through all that chaos, which, all the 4 other All-Stars are going through. I think it was just refreshing to see Julio just with that weight off his shoulders. You could see it on Sunday when he hit the home run round in third base. He had the biggest smile as he was dapping up, Christopher Negron over at third base. I think just seeing that Julio, it really goes to show just how important he is to everything that goes on with this Mariners ball club.
Something else I loved is that this series was so great that there are names we haven't mentioned.
Right.
You know what I mean? We've not said a single thing, not just about your pitching or some great relief performances. Maybe it's Bizarro getting a critical out. Maybe it's, whatever it is. We haven't mentioned Canzone. We haven't mentioned your rookies. We haven't mentioned so many other things. And I love that there is so much good to talk about with this series that you aren't scraping by trying to find a compliment. You're going, oh my God, and how dare I not have mentioned fill in the blank? How dare we not have mentioned, for instance, more about Randy Arozarena?
He has not slowed down at all. He has hit more home runs in this 13-game stretch than he had in the previous 70 plus before this run. 9 home runs in his last 13 games. He's up to 17 now. I'm almost wondering, should he be a late addition to the home run derby? He's just on such a heater.
Let him in.
Here's the pitch to Randy. Swung on, hit high, deep, left field. Has he done it again? He has! Bye-bye, Randy Arozarena. His 9th home run in his last 13 games. He is on fire. The All-Star crushing it into the All-Star break. And this game is tied 2 apiece as the boos rain down in Detroit on Randy Arozarena.
This is the heater that we all knew that he had within him. We've seen it from him throughout his entire
when
career.
It matters most,
exactly.
Yeah.
He's always been a really clutch bat, and just to be able to have him hitting the ball the way that he has over the last 2 weeks, starting with that 2 home run game against Kansas City and not slowing down at all through the All-Star break, incredible to see. And there's a growing movement on social media to extend Randy Arozarena, and I have to be in lockstep with those people.
Absolutely agree.
I think you got to keep him here.
And to push
season.
back against, I know that conversation we were having Friday about some people who wanted to sell. In terms of the pieces people wanted to sell, I think Randy Arozarena was an unspoken piece there. Even though he's not necessarily set to be a free agent, you do have a big decision to make about him. And at this point, I go, who possibly could upgrade you? Who could possibly be an upgrade? It would be punting on your season to move on from Randy. He makes you better. He's a very important piece you need to make a playoff run. Last thing I want to add before we get to disliked is loving that this series did immediately follow a really gut-punching one. So loving that this team was able to compartmentalize, move on, put it in the rear view, go out and just dominate the, right now, best team in baseball.
It was, I can't remember a more violent swing of where we were to end a week and where we are now to start a week.
And
because
great.
The sky was falling on Friday.
Yeah, and then these guys came in and truly lifted it up with both hands and said, wait a minute. I think we saw a better look at what their ceiling could be when everyone's healthy and everything's on, and that's great. Before we keep it moving to headline rewrites, disliked the one knock on the weekend, Curtis.
Those cowardly Detroit Tigers. Jay Hinch for walking Cal Raleigh in his final plate appearance of Sunday with an opportunity to tie Barry Bonds' first half record for home runs.
Have you no respect for history?
I mean, it's AJ Hinch. He's the manager of.
Tigers are not a team of scholars. I'll say that.
Definitely not. Learn your history, Tigers. You could have been part of a moment bigger than yourselves yesterday.
And you chose instead to walk Cal.
Truly, there was no real reason to be mad this weekend about the Mariners.
No, and in choosing to walk Cal was also able to steal his 10th base of the season, which put him in another group of 38 home runs and 10 stolen bases.
Yeah, it was Reggie Jackson, the only person to do that.
So, I mean, either way, it's a win-win for Cal. I'm sure he'd rather have a bomb, tie Barry Bonds at 39, right? Like an absolutely unreal feat, but I think Cal is very, very happy about his stolen bases and probably loved getting to double digits.
Yeah, I think he was more than thrilled with the outcome of the series.
All right, let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number one. Took LSU lefty Kade Anderson with the number 3 pick in the Major League Baseball draft yesterday. What's the real headline?
More like Cascade Anderson that he's in Seattle.
That's right.
I know that's right.
That's right.
Were you absolutely surprised to see Kade there? He wasn't like an absolute lock at number 1, though I don't know a single mock I read that had Anderson being mocked to Seattle at 3.
I was very surprised because the Angels took a pitcher at number 2, Tyler Bremner, who's from sort of the Anaheim, LA area, UC Santa Barbara, so maybe they wanted to go with the local product at number 2. But I was very surprised to see Kade Anderson. I was surprised to see Ava Arquette there. I was surprised to see Ethan Holiday there at pick number 3. They had their pick of the litter, and I think they made the right decision going with a college arm, a lefty, which is interesting because we've kind of seen the Mariners move away from left-handed pitching in recent years with Marco Gonzalez and Robbie Ray moving on, but Anderson's talent is obviously on full display, and just another 17 days from now, 2.5 weeks, you now have even more of a buffer if you want to move on from one of your prospects to go out and get a nice little
We talked
prize.
about the hypotheticals of trading some of those top prospects for a big bat, whether it was you're trading 3 or 4 or 5 for Ronald Acuna Jr., or maybe you're trading 1 or 2 for a lesser but still very impactful bat. How comfortable or uncomfortable would you be? You had mentioned multiple times, well, look, you're going to be bringing in that number 3 overall pick. When I saw that pick be Kade Anderson, someone that was in many instances mock number 1, it's like, knowing it is one thing, seeing that name there, knowing it's just been added to your, and like you and probably like many people, I went, you know what, I do feel a little more comfortable. I do feel like this system just keeps getting replenished, and it's never easy. It's always a risk, right? You don't get a ace a trade while another team fails. They're going to hurt you a little bit to give you something you want, but it really was something. You could feel the difference in seeing that name added, going, I feel really good about this group. They have so many exciting pieces.
Headline rewrites.
Headline 2 today is the Home Run Derby. Cal Raleigh, the Vegas favorite, ahead of O'Neal Cruz and James Wood. What's the real headline?
Get ready for this one, Curtis. I wish James would try to beat Cal, but I think the dumper will. O'Neal Cruz to the final. Thank you, Matt. Thank you.
Curtis.
Yeah.
Like I worked that took me minutes and minutes and minutes to. Not everyone can do that.
You're right.
What I
You're
just
right.
did,
Not everyone can.
Not everyone can do. Like, you think that this is just something that you just learn. This is something you're born with, Curtis. And I feel like you don't have enough respect for my ability.
Yeah. I'm not the artist here, so I don't know exactly what the paint. I don't know what the
wish
painting
James
looks like.
would try to beat Cal.
No, I got
But I think the dumper will O'Neal Cruz. I'm just making sure you heard it. I didn't know if my mic was on.
I'm just super excited for tonight. That's what I'm really looking forward tonight is Cal Raleigh. Just put some balls.
Can Cal win?
I think so.
I need you to answer very honestly and without an
yes.
inkling of homerism.
Yes, he can win.
Why?
Why? I think his swing is just smooth. It's repeatable. It doesn't. I think that is going to be a big thing, especially in the later rounds you go. I do like the new format a little bit better than what it was. It's not head-to-head every round. It's the fours of all 8 hitters. That moves on. Then it becomes head-to-head. So you want to put yourself out in front in the first round so that you can be the second hitter in the ensuing round so that you don't have to, just put up a ridiculous score for to beat. So I think Cal can do it. Yes.
Okay, but I know that I made the pun about James Wood. I think he's the big challenger. Is there another
really
name you're taking as? Because I don't know that he's the second odds-on favorite.
Yeah, he is somebody that could really, really open some eyes. I think we all kind of know what. I mean, I would say Cal Raleigh, maybe the biggest national name of these hitters. Maybe Jazz Chisholm, but I don't see him winning. Matt Olson is one that I would be concerned with. Hometown in Atlanta. He's replacing Ronald Acuna Jr. That's another guy who's got a really smooth, repeatable swing. So I would be on the watch for Matt Olson.
I know some people were criticizing a derby in which they don't have, to them, the biggest names in baseball. They don't see Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman and Aaron Judge and, Mike Trout, whoever else. I really like when a home run derby has a lot of new faces or some really young guys or guys with a ton of power who are kind of bursting onto the scene. Like, I know that I'm saying this and it sounds like being a homer, but his first home run derby, that was a lot of people's introduction to Julio. They knew of him, but a lot of national audiences weren't staying glued on the Mariners. And you had people around sports, much less baseball, around sports tweeting like, oh my God, like that was really fun. That's really cool. I think it's fun when a home run derby changes it up. I get the appeal of all-stars and you just want to watch the absolute best go out. I also really want to see James Wood. I wish I could read that headline.
I think twice is enough.
Matt, you can read the same headline, just we can repeat it if you want.
You should just do it again.
49ers receiver Juwan Jennings.
I wish James would.
49ers receiver Juwan Jennings scheduled to make around $7.5 million in the final year of his deal. He wants a new contract or a trade. This is per ESPN. What's the real headline?
Another offseason, another 49ers trade request. It's the tale as old as time.
You love to see it.
You love to see it. It's really interesting because earlier you were saying like Juwan Jennings, I don't know.
I cannot wait for the weather to get warm like it is now on consecutive days. That means I can break the motorcycle out, ride to work, ride all over the place, and I love it more than just about anything. But I also know that it's not a matter of if, but when you get in an accident, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you, when you're injured in a motorcycle crash, don't settle for firms that say they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who live it. Law Tigers has been a part of the writing community for nearly 25 years nationwide. They're here 24/7, 365 days a year because writers deserve real support when they need it. Law Tigers is the resource writers can turn to when they are in need. Law Tigers is out at all the events and supporting all clubs and shops. The Law Tigers are always by your side. Your case evaluation is always free. There are no fees until your case settles. The Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rureka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
With Progressive, you can reach customer service in the way that's easiest for you, by phone, app, or online. We know it would be great if we just magically appeared, but that's more of a genie thing, and we do insurance. But with us, you'd be like, well, it wasn't a genie, but it was great customer service, so that's nice. And sure, you probably would still like the whole 3 wishes thing, so if you meet a genie, you should definitely ask. But when you need us, contact Progressive by phone, app, or online. Just no genies. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Does your yard need shade, privacy, or a little brightening up? Look no further than Big Trees. I'm Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. At our 30-acre location, there are thousands of trees to choose from and knowledgeable staff, including a board-certified master arborist, to help you find exactly what you're looking for. Visit the nursery and learn more about Big Trees at bigtreesupply.com.
Want to cut your home energy bills, breathe cleaner air, and improve comfort? The answer, AeroSeal from Home Comfort Alliance. This advanced process seals leaks in your ductwork, improving efficiency and air quality. Normally $2,500. Right now, for PSC customers, get AeroSeal for as little as $99 when they install a furnace or heat pump. Plus, save up to 25% on remaining 2024 heat pumps and air conditioners from Home Comfort Alliance. Visit homecomfortalliance.com today.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up in 15 inside Cal Raleigh's historic season, the latest from Jeff Passan's column that was posted this morning. Also, Johnny Bench was on with Brock and Salk. So we have 2 great voices talking about a great player here in Seattle. We're going to take a quick Mariners break here because there are 2 reasons, Curtis, why this is a big week, for the other 2 teams in town, Seahawks and maybe one day the Sonics. What do we got going on?
Well, let's start with the Seahawks because people are like, why would the Seahawks matter? It's the All-Star break.
Calm down. It's not your week yet.
Yeah, next week, the 23rd
Wednesday
is when camp starts. But rookies report tomorrow. Rookies will be in town for training camp, getting that week-long head start that they always do. And there are 2 rookies still unsigned as of right now. And it's your 2 second-round picks, Nick Eamon-Murray, safety out of South Carolina, and Elijah Arroyo, the tight end out of Miami. And, Stacy, they're not the only second-round picks that are unsigned in the NFL.
All but 2, in fact, are unsigned in the NFL right now, which is pretty unprecedented.
Highly complicated matter in the NFL right now.
We'll rewind for 2 seconds and remind everyone listening what happened. So what happened is the Houston Texans, who had the second pick of the second round. They signed that pick to a fully guaranteed contract.
Jaden Higgins, wide receiver at Iowa State.
So then obviously the first pick of the second round,
Schlesinger, the
linebacker for the Browns, said, wait a minute, Cleveland.
Well, if he's getting
this
that,
guy who went behind me is getting a fully guaranteed deal. So Cleveland buckled, and they were like, you're right, Carson. We're going to give you a fully guaranteed deal, too. So now here come the next two guys in line. That would be number 35, Nick Emanwari, the third pick of the second round, owned by Seattle. And the fourth pick of the second round, we're back to the Browns with Quinshon Judkins. A little wrinkle thrown in here.
He got arrested over the weekend.
So I don't know if Quinshon Judkins can really force Cleveland's hand here, they've already signed their second round pick to a fully guaranteed contract. They might have a little more leverage here, not knowing if he's going to be suspended, what's going to happen with him. But I do think, Curtis, the rest of the football world, a lot of other GMs are looking at Schneider now going, if Schneider does not give Nick Emanwari a fully guaranteed contract, well, then picks number 38 and 39 and 40 and 41 and 42 and onward, those teams can tell those players, look, the guy chosen 5 spots ahead of you didn't get it. Why do you think you do? So there really is kind of a precedent that Schneider can potentially set here. But if he wants to stick to his guns, and I would assume he does it mean that Nick Emanwari doesn't actually participate in training camp?
Right, and it's not just a precedent that would change things across the league by to a fully guaranteed deal, but it would change how business is done here in Seattle. They don't usually guarantee anybody anything past year one in their contract, and so that would be a very stark change as to what they do around here. And look, the Seahawks, they don't want to hurt themselves in year 3 or year 4 in this deal if it doesn't work out, because I look back on some second round picks that the Seahawks have had. It's kind of a crapshoot in a way. I mean, you get the huge successes of DK Metcalf and whatnot. Frank Clark was a big success, I would say. Jaron Reed, a big success. But then you also get the Malik McDowells, the D. Eskridges. You get
Marquise Blair,
exactly.
Pick, yeah.
So there's still risk in second round picks.
Right.
They are, talent wise on par with first rounders, but maybe they slip down for whatever reason. But there is a big risk in signing somebody to a fully guaranteed deal. But look at the market, and if I'm Nick Emanwari, I'm digging my feet and I'm saying, well, I want to get what they got because I was only taking 1 pick behind them. There's not a whole lot of difference between them and me, and I feel like I'm worth this.
Just kind of one of those under-the-radar things. I know that we're all going to be talking about the team when they actually hit the field on Wednesday. And keep in mind, both Nick and Elijah, day 2 picks for Seattle, were still participating in not just rookie camp, but mini camp and OTAs, even without those contracts signed. So there's a world where they are still participating in training camp, but just don't have that contract signed. So I think it's less likely that happens when you get into training camp. There's just going to be more contact. It's more of a grind on your body. I think we're going to learn very, very quickly, quite literally, when we're out there on the field, when practice begins, looking up from our desk. And if we don't see Nick out there suited up, I think we're all going to know this isn't injury related. This is someone who wants that fully guaranteed deal and is in a standoff with Seattle. So a fascinating situation to keep an eye on heading into next week. Curtis, what else do we need to know?
What else we need to know for this week is NBA Summer League is wrapping up on the 20th, and every year during Summer League, there is an NBA Board of Governors meeting that takes place in Las Vegas at the site of Summer League. And this year, we have heard from Adam Silver himself saying that they will discuss expansion pretty much in a way that they have they've never discussed it before. In fact, here was Adam Silver on with SiriusXM back in May.
I think at this point we have a NBA board meeting in July in Las Vegas, and my sense is it will be on the agenda to discuss with full ownership now for the 30 teams to get directly the existing owners' views on potential expansion and how we would begin furthering the study of all the implications.
So it sounds to me like expansion will be talked about in the most formal way it's been talked about really since the last time the league expanded, which was back in 2002 with the Charlotte Hornets, then Bobcats.
There's been a lot of curveballs, I should say a couple key curveballs thrown into potential expansion talks in the last couple months. You had initially the sale of the Celtics and then securing those TV rights, and we thought, okay, full steam ahead for expansion talks. Those were the two things the league was waiting on. Since then, you've seen the sale of one team, another team be put up for sale,
the Blazers,
and then I don't know, maybe some rumors of James Dolan kind of standing in the way. So you've got a couple other wrinkles that have been thrown in. Do you think that any of those are going to actually affect this, or what do you personally expect?
I think the Lakers are just kind of standalone. I don't think they will throw a big wrench into what the potential expansion fee will be. I think the Celtics was more indicative of what the expansion fee will be. I don't think it'll be to the $6 billion price tag that they sold for, but it'll probably be a little bit less. I think it'll be probably like $5 to $5.5 billion for whatever the NBA is seeking for these two new franchises. Because if you expand, you can't really expand by one, because then that makes an odd number of teams in the league. It's hard for scheduling when there's an odd number of teams, so they'll expand by two if they choose to do that. Tim Booth had an interesting, just kind of like what to expect this week from the Board of Governors thing in the Seattle Times today. Gave kind of three outcomes possible coming from these Board of Governor meetings. One was, a form of some type of expansion committee and begin the procedural process. He views this as kind of the most likely outcome of what's going to come from these meetings in Vegas. And then another option he gives is announce the entire expansion process is on pause, and what that means for the future. He said that would be the nightmare scenario. No one wants that, which would mean all of this talk gets put on ice. And then he says his third option is announce the league is bypassing a committee and is moving straight on to expansion. That would be cool. Like, you don't even have to hem and haw. You don't have to do all these subcommittees and whatnot. It just moves forward with expansion right away. I don't see that happening. I think, as Tim puts it, that first option of, we're going to form an expansion committee and look deeper into this, I think that seems like the most likely thing to come from these meetings this week. All right, back to Cal. It's his big day today with the Home Run Derby. He's going to be the name that not just us here in Seattle, but the baseball world is kind of focusing on most. I have a listener question about the Home Run Derby I'll throw your way, and then we're going to talk about the latest from Jeff Passan, a big feature on Cal, things we learned from that, one interesting nugget about a meeting that Cal had with Justin Halter and Jerry DiPoto before signing that deal. And then we've got the latest from Johnny Bench. Don't go anywhere.
The season of Cal continues.
And the next offer on the wood. Cal swinging a drive deep to right field.
Big dumper is in the Derby.
Goodbye, baseball.
Like, what if Cal was doing this for the Yankees and Judge was doing this for the Mariners? Who's the MVP then?
Hear Cal Raleigh in the Home Run Derby today at 5. Live from Truist Park in Atlanta. Only on the home of the Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen. And PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
We at 3 Tree Roofing understand that your home is your castle. That's why our certified technicians use state-of-the-art installation methods to deliver the highest warranties available. Check out our hundreds of online reviews and schedule a free estimate to see for yourself. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service. 98 years providing logoed apparel, uniforms, floor mats, linens, and more. Give us a call. We answer the phone. Superior Linen Service. Visit suplinen.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Brad's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, where batteries are as low as $89.99. Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Brad is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why is Mazda of Everett the #1 dealer on the West Coast? Mazda of Everett is locally owned and operated for 20 years. They work hard to get you their best deal every time and to make sure you drive away happy. With over 700 new Mazdas, they stock more than anyone in the Seattle area. Find out for yourself why people keep coming back to Mazda of Everett. Take advantage of the Mazda of Everett price during the More to Move You sales event. MazdaofEverett.com. Claims based on Mazda USA inventory and sales reports.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
If you want that summer body you've always dreamed of, then this message is for you, ladies, and you men too. Get rid of extra stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin around the waistline, chin, and under the upper arms with ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without the desired results. ProSculpt is different. It's minimally invasive, performed while fully awake, gentle, yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate, permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. If you want that summer body this summer, then you must act now. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation. Get $250 off. For instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening, visit ProSculpt.com.
This is my life. This is my family's life. The people that work here, they're my family. When something's not right with them, it's not right with us.
We get notifications every time we get a review. And I said, how do you not let it eat you up? Sometimes I feel so responsible. And his answer was, I just look at it as an opportunity. We need that feedback to learn and to do better. I'm grateful for the feedback.
Big part of sales is the relationship aspect. People want to do business with someone they can trust, who's a real person. They don't feel like you're just going after their money. And when you take the time to get to know them, get to know their needs, not be a car salesman, but be a consultant, then they feel more comfortable with you, and the experience is better on both sides.
It's not about closing deals. It's about opening relationships, helping people make the right choice. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, it's all Cal at 10:45. Number 1, we're going to go over the Derby rules. Number 2, we got the latest in a feature from Jeff Passan. Some interesting nuggets sticking with us. And then number 3, the latest from a great catcher, Johnny Bench on Cal, who was on with Brock and Salk this morning. We're going to start with that first category, Derby rules. I had a listener say, do we know who Cal's facing in the first round? Curtis, what do you have to tell us about the home run derby?
He's taking on everybody in the first round. So the first round, you don't go head-to-head with anybody. They just take the top 4 scorers, and then they advance them on to the second and third round. So Cal won't have a direct opponent unless he makes it to the second round.
Okay. So
all
keep
8,
in mind, not only
going against
is it just everyone going against everyone, but you won't know who Cal's facing until they're through with that first round. So, okay. Quick answer to that one. We're already on to the second part of this, which is a really fascinating read from Jeff Passan. He has an article this morning. It's up on ESPN.com right now. It is not behind a paywall, so you can read it for free. And it is a longer read, but really worthwhile. I have 1 or 2 nuggets that were really sticking with me. Did you want to go over yours? Have me cover these 2 first?
Well, I think the one that stood out to both of us was the closed-door meeting that Cal had in spring training with the Mariners front office as they were trying to hammer out the final details of what a contract extension would look like, because that was announced, what was it, the day between the end of spring training and opening day, and it kind of came together very last minute. I would imagine the talks were going on for quite a while, but it seemed very dramatic for what was going on.
Well, and I think that I always love when a feature has maybe things about a player's background or what drove him or little nuggets that we didn't know. I really love it when a feature unveils a big thing we didn't know. And I think you could another thing. So, for instance, as Curtis mentioned, the Mariners had already approached him after the 2023 season about a deal. They didn't do anything. So then after the winter meetings in 2024, they broached the topic again, Dipoto and Hollander do, and they are told by Cal's camp, hey, table this until spring.
That was also around the time that Cal moved on from Scott Boras.
Yes. So then the Mariners send over a proposal, and before he even considers it, Jeff writes, Raleigh said he needed to learn more about the future of the franchise. So he goes into this meeting for 2.5 hours with Jerry Dipoto and Justin Hollander, a notebook and a pen, and he has a list of questions, and he's asking them all these questions and writing down answers, and he wants to know, what are prospect timelines? How's the roster evolving? Are all these pitchers going to be on this team as free agency approaches? Are you guys going to just trade guys like Logan and just go in this cycle of constantly trying to get to the playoffs but never getting there? So it says, Raleigh said, if this group stays together, it can win a World Series. So Jeff writes, factory, because soon thereafter, Raleigh agreed to a 6-year, $105 million contract extension that kept him in a Mariner uniform through 2031. I love this quote from Jerry Dipoto. Cal wants to win, Dipoto said. He wants to eat your face off. But I love the idea of Cal going in there going, I am not signing this, because this was the big signing. I wanted to know I was going to a team that wanted to win. That's the same thing Cal wanted. Cal went in there going, I'm not signing this contract if all you guys are going to do is going to circle the fence and never actually make a move. I am only signing this contract if you tell me exactly how you want to get to a World Series.
Yeah.
And I want to know what they told him.
That would be one of those fly on the wall moments where it's like, man, to have the transcript meeting. I mean, gosh, we have meetings here that, last at most, 30 minutes to maybe an hour. But 2.5 hours, that is a big portion of your day. Your bosses with questions. And obviously, even prior to the 2025 season, what Cal Raleigh had done in his 4 seasons with the Mariners, that was so worth keeping around. And but now obviously he has become just a fabric of the sports community here. He is the
icon.
face of Seattle sports at the moment, and
he's the face of the end of a drought.
Right. He is everything that the Mariners could have wanted out of a homegrown star, and to be able to end of the bargain. He is more than outperformed the first couple of years of that contract. We don't know what it's going to look like when he's 34, but I would imagine they're paying him on average 17-something million every year through 2031. That's going to be a bargain by the time 2031 rolls around.
This article had some really good stuff about Cal's family, his relationship with his dad. The 2 other things I really thought were insightful were Jeff talking about how much Cal was sulking when he went down was, what are you complaining about? You're living out your dream and you're here complaining because it didn't work out the first time. And that maybe that we talk, the reason I liked it is we talk now about like watching Cal round the bases on a 38th home run before the All-Star break, record-setting home run, and he's just very chill. And you wonder, like, how is he focusing on the game with all these other things going on? And you realize, like, oh, that's a skill he had to really hone 3-4 years ago. And so credit to him for that. And then the other one was a bit of the interview that talks about playing through injuries. Justin Turner mentioned it in this one, talking about like bleeding out of his ear after getting hit on a backswing, or hitting that home run with a broken thumb and like tendons, and just kind of being aware of the wear and tear that catchers take.
Well, and also another thing that has changed dramatically about Cal's just season and just his day-to-day is all the attention shown to him. There was a quote in here where Cal says to his dad, where they were talking about just the added attention of this season and how much the spotlight has been on him. Cal says it's not the same anymore, which, you know, I bet he was able to go to the grocery store and not get noticed as
hang
much.
out with your friends.
But then his dad was like, well, do you not want to be great? Like,
his
this
dad sounds great.
Yeah. Like, he was like, this is a privilege, man.
Yeah.
Like, do you not want to be in the All-Star game? Do you not want to be in the home run derby? Like,
His
I'll
dad
trade
is
that
very
with you.
dad-coded.
Yeah. Well, he's very much a high school
Old
baseball
school
coach.
baseball
yeah.
coach dad, yeah.
And I think Cal obviously probably receives his dad's coaching much more than, you know, just about anybody else he has. And so Cal was kind of like, all right, you're right. What am I complaining about? These are problems people would kill to have.
Lastly, a great cut from Johnny Bench. I'll play just one, and then we'll get to a few others later because we're running out of time. Johnny talking about great catchers being very, very rare.
You know, you only got like 15 catchers, I think, in the Hall of Fame, and that's because they only come around once every 10. So we got a chance to watch a young man who's dedicated to what he's doing, dedicated to a young pitching staff that's got some potential and a lot of talent. And you got a guy that just is truly one good guy. And he doesn't ask it. He doesn't want the. He just wants to, you know, play. And that's what catchers are. They're workhorses. Sparky used to say, I said, am I going to get a day off? He said, let me put it to you this way. If we're behind, I'm going to catch you to catch up. If we're tied, I'm going to catch you to get ahead. If we're ahead, I'm going to catch you to stay ahead. I said, I'm not getting the day off, am I? He said, no, you just ride that old mule until it drops. So it's what it is. It's a thing. And it, you know, I couldn't enjoy it more than this opportunity to talk about Cal and what he's doing.
Curtis, I love hearing from Johnny Bench so much. I think that we should get back to even more of this sound at 11:45. So hang tight, less than an hour. We'll tell you everything that we learned from this interview with Johnny. That podcast. Coming up next, we got some new draft picks to talk about for the Mariners Overslot podcast host, Joe Doyle.
The All-Star Fantastic Four. It's now the Mariners Fantastic Five.
Welcome to Randyland.
As Randy El Rosarena joins Andres, Brian, Julio, and Cal.
Holy smokes.
In the 2025 Midsummer Classic. Tomorrow afternoon at 5 from Truist Park in Atlanta. On the home of the Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
Overburdened with a bunch of stuff you don't want anymore, but feel bad throwing it away? John here with Happy Hauler, Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We prioritize donating and recycling. We'll help get your items to those in need instead of going to the landfill. At Happy Hauler, we pride ourselves on responsibility, community, and sustainability. We're a family-run small business that provides junk removal, donations, and recycling. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. It's time to reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health, it's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Summer is the time to feel and look your best, but I'm not talking about your abs or tan. Guys, I'm talking about your hair. Restore that bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning during Advanced Hair's once yearly summer savings event. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your very own hair the very next day, and they guarantee your new hair will grow. They are the team that addressed my hair loss, and I recommend them to everyone. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar. Advanced Hair's summer sales event is on for a limited time. So get the details and schedule your free consultation today. 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. With Advanced Hair, your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Check out the incredible before and afters and make the call now while their summer savings event is still on. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors. When you hear Harley Exteriors, I want you to think windows manufactured right here in Washington and specifically designed for our Pacific Northwest homes and climate. These are the windows you want. They look absolutely stunning, much better than a traditional vinyl window, and they're going to lower your energy bills and provide year-round comfort. They also come with a double lifetime fully transferable warranty, meaning not only are you covered for glass breaking or damaged seals, it's going to help your resale and home value. These windows last up to 60 years. Harley Exteriors is making these windows affordable with options like zero payments and zero interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. In July, Harley Exteriors is offering 50% off basic installation, no payments, no interest for 12 months, and an additional $200 off your project. Think Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more right here in the Puget Sound. Call 833-HARLEY or just go to harleyexteriors.com.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The countdown is on.
9 days until Seahawks training camp.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. 710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Mariners swept the Tigers over the weekend. Who didn't see that coming? By swept, I mean absolutely dominated. They sit 6 games above 500, now in second place in the AL West, entering the All-Star break tonight. Cal Raleigh will compete in his first ever home run derby. That starts at 5 p.m. Also going to be here in Seattle Sports. Tomorrow, Cal, the AL starting catcher, will be joined by Randy Arozarena, Brian Wu, and Andres Munoz in the All-Star game.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Joe Doyle of the Overslot podcast joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Joe, you're in Atlanta, correct, for the draft and all-star festivities. How's it out there?
Yeah, it was a good day. It was a good day yesterday at the draft. Major League Baseball does they do a good job setting up a big event, and the all-star festivities, I've been to, this is the 7th or 8th big league ballpark that I've been to take in some sort of event. And I got to say, I think Truist Park and the Battery at Atlanta is the coolest social setting I've ever been to. It's a really cool community down here.
Now, you said it was a good day. It was a good day, especially for you, because as it was pointed out by friend of the show, Jordan Schusterman, you had the most correct first-round picks of anybody that's prognosticating this stuff. So take your victory lap. You
Congratulations.
can take your curtain call here. You can tout yourself a little bit.
Jordan's a friend of mine. I tell him every year, I'm like, we're obligated as MLB draft writers, as prospect writers, to put out those mock drafts, and you do as much research as you can, but it's a crapshoot most years. And I tell Jordan every year, I'm like, if you don't want to do that mock draft report card this year, I don't think anyone would hold it against you. But he's still, Jordan he has to put out that fodder. So yeah, heavy as the crown, guys. Heavy as the
We'll have to edit this when we get Jordan on and be like, you wouldn't believe what Joe said, and we'll chop it up to where it's like, I tell Jordan you shouldn't do your mock.
Yeah, just sit this one out,
Don't
buddy.
bother.
Yeah, hey, pass on the message, please.
All right. Well, just as surprised as I'm sure the Mariners and everyone else was to even see the Mariners get that third overall spot, I was also surprised to see Kade Anderson. I know it wasn't this universal, absolutely, he's the number one pick, but he still was not the most commonly named I saw mocked to Seattle. How surprised were you to see him available before we dive into the pick itself?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't think that he was going to be available. And I don't think Seattle was expecting him to be available either. I had heard that the team was, in between Seth Hernandez and Tyler Bremner, the night before, negotiating, trying to figure out what their priority was going to be, what the best move for the organization was going to be. So to see Bremner go 2 after nobody, including myself, had Bremner, inside of the top 10 picks coming into the weekend was certainly stunning. And I think this is a huge, huge get for Seattle. There really wasn't another arm in this class, at least at the top, that had the blend of, pitches, strikes, projection, performance, and just the general pitch mix that Seattle has done very, very well over the last handful of years, transforming into, big league ready stuff. So it's a perfect fit for the organization, and it's a fit that, I look back at the George Kirby when he went to the high performance camp, and they just got George Kirby stronger and shredded and transformed him from what he was at Elon. I think that's what we could see here with Kade. You put 10 pounds on that kid, and it could be a left-handed starter that sits 94 to 95, touching 98. So really exciting get for the Mariners.
Joe, the Mariners farm system has already, grabbed headlines this season for just the depth of it. Where would you slot Kade Anderson in if you were doing a top 10 ranking of this farm system after yesterday?
Yeah, it's a coin toss for me. I mean, it's really close between him and Colt Emerson. I think they're both probably at about the same level. I think Colt Emerson is right on the verge of being able to make that jump to Double-A, possibly by the end of the season. And I think Kade Anderson could strike out and perform at a high level at the high A level right away, and he could pitch in Double-A at the start of 2026 as well. So I have both of them actually as top 25 prospects in the sport. I have Kade Anderson at 25. I have Colt Emerson at 23. So for now, Emerson has a slight nod on the top 10 Mariners prospect list, but it is close.
Oh, God, not a bad spot to be in for the Mariners. I wanted to stick with Anderson a little bit longer. One of the things that I kept hearing was there's such a clear floor for who he's going to be. Like you kind of know what the strengths are, but maybe the upside for some other guys is what ultimately prompted, maybe the Nats or whoever to go, we're going to go in this direction. What is your own read on Anderson, kind of what you see is kind of not just how he profiles, but maybe even the potential? Do you think some people might get the ceiling wrong?
The thing is, when you're in scouting and you're watching these guys play and pitch, and you're looking at more than just what the pitch mix is. And I think the biggest knock on Kade Anderson is it is a pretty slight frame. It is a pretty lean frame. It's just not a physique that looks like it wants to put on a whole lot of weight, a whole lot of strength. And so because of that, you kind of say, is he capable of making that velocity jump to where he's got ace stuff? For me, I do agree with most people who say, this is probably a number 2 starter, a low number 2 starter at the next level. The comps that I've had on him are guys like John Lester. To a lesser extent, I think Cole Hamels is a potential outcome, but you'd need to see the stuff blossom a little bit more. But I've told everyone this, like, if you're getting even if you're getting a number 3 starter at the number 3 pick in any draft, you are absolutely thrilled. And Seattle has this reputation of turning like the number 14 or 18 or 19 pick into an ace, which is such a high bar to climb. Kade Anderson, if you get a number 3 starter who can win you 13 to 15 games a year when you're really clicking, you've done a very, very good job. So yeah, those are the names that I've attached to him. John Lester, I guess to a certain extent Cole Hamels, but you're looking at those crafty strike throwing lefties that pitch long innings.
One of the knocks about Anderson was having already had Tommy John surgery prior to his time at LSU. Is that something teams can get scared off by, or is that just kind of the nature of pitching in 2025? Guys are maybe just destined to have it at some point in their career.
Yeah, I think the answer is yes to both. I think teams are just okay. I think some teams are just okay with the fact that some of these guys are going to have had Tommy John surgery in the past. I mean, you look at the 2024 draft, one of the greatest pitching seasons we've ever seen was Hagen Smith at Arkansas in 2024. He goes very, very high to the White Sox last year. And this is going to be the case with Kade Anderson as well. I mean, it's just kind of a fact of life with how hard guys are throwing and how much intent pitchers are throwing. I think the thing that's interesting from like a Mariners pitching perspective with Kade Anderson is he had Tommy John as a high school junior. He barely pitched as a high school senior. He pitched just 38 innings as a college freshman as they built him back up. And this was the first year where, he threw 80 innings. He really got to showcase his stuff. I would actually make the argument in one respect, he's pretty green. Like, yeah, he's had Tommy John surgery, and that's something to keep in mind, but this isn't a guy who's had a whole ton of runway to refine and elevate his stuff. He doesn't have, the innings that some of the other guys in the draft do. So I'm interested from that perspective, like how much more is in the tank because he just hasn't had the time to develop. So to answer your question, I guess a little bit more succinctly, yes, some teams are going to be scared off by it, but I think the large majority of teams are just okay with the fact that this is, Tommy John is a fact of life right now.
Joe, the Mariners also took a catcher, Luke Stevenson, at 35 overall. I think it's natural as fans, especially with your eye on the trade deadline and your eye on prospects already here, to go, okay, what does it mean for Harry Ford? Does it mean they're going to trade him? Is this anything? But as you know, with baseball, sometimes that's not what it means. Tell us a bit about Luke, and then if anything, if there is something that kind of caught your eye about the position itself being drafted there.
Yeah, I think that's your immediate reaction is, look, the Mariners are taking a college catcher in what is essentially the first round. I mean, with the Harry Ford trade rumors and trade speculation that's floating around, it's natural to go that direction. I've talked to 4 different people inside of the organization since that pick was made, and every single one of them insists that this is the top player on their board. And they're always going to take the top player on their board. They're always going to go for the most value. They had Luke Stevenson ranked way above the 35th pick, and they were surprised that he was there. The thing that blows me away about Stevenson, and I got the opportunity to interview him for about 15 minutes. The interview's up there on YouTube if anybody wants to get to know him, but just an incredibly polished kid. A second-year kid like Kade Anderson only has 2 years in college baseball, so still pretty green, still pretty young. And the thing that stands out is this is such an advanced mind, such an advanced IQ, that he started every game behind the plate for North Carolina as a true freshman, which is unheard of. So just an incredibly advanced human being, a very, very mature, polished catcher. He's definitely going to catch. There's I mean, you've heard the rumors with Harry Ford, like, should we move him to third base? Should we move him to left field? Luke Stevenson is as catcher as it gets, and to combine with that, it's enormous raw power. So a very fun prospect that should contribute to this team, even if it's in a backup or a platoon role with Cal Raleigh's stay in the organization expected to be years on end.
Joe, in the fourth round yesterday, the Mariners, or third round, I should say, they drafted Griffin, is it Hughes out of Miami? And his profile, I mean, the raw numbers kind of look like what we saw out of like Brian Wu and Logan Evans out of college. They aren't, spectacular or anything, but what can you tell us about maybe what the Mariners see in him and how he profiles?
Yeah, I had Hughes ranked at number 122 on my board, and let me tell you, this is the Seattle Mariners starting pitcher, Clay, like to the T. He's up to 96. It's huge life at the top of the zone. It's a fastball that really hops. He spins the ball very, very well, above average to plus fastball. 83 to 85 slider, bullet short, sharp, and a big curveball. Like these are all, kitschy scout words, but what I'm trying to kind of convey here is you're kind of right. Like what Brian Wu was doing at Cal Poly, what some of these other pitchers that Seattle has developed well were doing in college, like they can really spin the fastball. They can really shape the fastball. They can command it at the top of the zone. Griffin Hughes was a guy that kind of slowed down, and it seemed to me fatigued toward the end of the season. But there were talks in February and March and early April when he was just getting going that Hughes was going to be like a second rounder this year. So 6'2", 190, big stuff. And I think, again, a very, very good value here at pick 91, and a guy that I think with that high performance camp could really see his stuff explode.
All right, Joe, taking a step back look at the farm system here and leaning on your expertise for that. One of the, I guess, big picture questions for the season that a lot of Mariners fans will be asking themselves, as you know, is not just who might be dealt, but what will ultimately be the cost. And I think that it's probably a little more painful, not just for people in the organization, but for people like you who are like, no, I've spent countless years. I know all of these guys, and I know their potential. So we'll now have a couple questions here, just kind of looking at the farm system with the trade deadline looming kind of take. I'll start with, are there any prospects within the system that you go, man, I don't know many people that would make me budge on this guy? Like, I really hope that they could not touch him.
Yeah, I mean, I think the guy for me that stands out is Johnny Farmelo. And the reason is you have 5 games or 15 games of Johnny Farmelo at high A. I really want to see what Johnny Farmelo looks like with an extended amount of time in the minor leagues, because he's the guy that when you trade him, you're trading something that you don't know what you have. You don't know if you have a star center fielder. You don't know if you have like a porcelain, prospect that is just going to be hurt all the time. So I think trading Johnny Farmelo would be 1 year too early if they did want to do that. Some of the other guys, if the deal was right, if the Ronald Acuna Jr. type of player is out there, I'm open to trading just about anybody in the organization. But the two that do stand out would be Farmelo, and the other one is Ryan Sloan. From what I've seen from him in Modesto, just the way he moves from a scouting lens, that guy could be something pretty special if you continue to let him develop inside of this organization. So huge fan of Ryan Sloan, huge fan of Johnny Farmelo. I just think you'd be shipping them off a little bit too soon before you know what you got.
Joe, you always watch the game with a scout's eye, so I want to know from you, what have you seen from Julio with the bat this year that just feels different than what we've seen in years past? I mean, he had a great series against Detroit, for sure. Great way to finish off the first half, but I think a lot of people look at Julio's first half, and it's kind of leaving people wanting more.
Yeah, I think, I personally think it's an identity problem. I don't know if it's necessary. Certainly there's mechanical things and operational things that come into play. And I don't want to get too far into the weeds because Julio changes his swing every 2 weeks, and he's still tinkering and figuring out how to be most productive. But for me, I think part of it is just he's trying to figure out what kind of player he is. Like, is this going to be a player that strikes out 19% of the time and just puts the ball in play on the ground a lot and hits singles and tries to steal bases? And that's what we saw, a lot in the month of June and early July. Or is this going to be a player who sacrifices a little bit of bat to ball and maybe doesn't have a 285 average, but is capable of hitting 30 to 35 home runs? And I think if you look at what Julio was from 2021 to 2023, and to a lesser extent 2024, he was a guy that wanted to impact the game, impact the baseball, hit the ball hard, produce runs. I think and this isn't a knock on Edgar Martinez, but I think with Edgar coming into the organization and the messaging changing a little bit to put the ball in play, hunt your pitch, put the game in motion, I think maybe Julio is struggling a little bit and finding himself in between identities. So, what my goal for Julio would be over the final 3 months of the season, 2 months of the season, would be just pick a lane. Are you going to be a guy that puts the ball in play hard early in counts and tries to run a little bit on the base paths? Or are you going to be a guy who strikes out a little bit more and is capable of hitting the home run? So this middle ground that he's living in is, in my opinion, it's hurting the team, because I don't think he's the type of player at this stage of his career that you can have the best of both worlds. I think you just need to kind of lean into one, if you will.
Joe, before we let you go, there are going to be many Mariners fans listening now that are going, oh, wait, the Mariners are making more picks and I need to know what Joe thinks. Or wait, I want to know what he thinks of the draft as a whole. Tell people where they can find more of your analysis.
Yeah, you can find, all my analysis kind of live is on Twitter at Joe Doyle, MILB. But so far, I haven't missed a player inside of the top 4 rounds. So if you want a scouting report on anybody that's been drafted so far, you can head over to FutureStarsSeries.com and see my top 615 prospects for the draft and more information about him.
He's batting 1,000. Knows his stuff, guys. He is Joe Doyle. Very kind to join us on a busy day. Thanks so much, Joe.
All right, guys.
Let's get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
All right, Stacy, first down to you. What did you hear recently from Byron Murphy that caught your attention?
I thought this cut was interesting. It's about focusing a bit more on pass rushing this year.
This offseason, I've mainly been focused just on pass rushing, because this year coming up, this season I will be playing a lot more 3-tech, so really just been focused on pass rushing, man. That's my biggest focus right now.
I believe that was with that with Hot Blogger Brian Nemhauser?
No, that was just a random interview he did in the offseason, just I think in his hometown in Texas.
Okay, I know Brian talked to him about a month ago, and so there's been kind of conversations that you've heard from Byron talking about how he wants to improve those pass rushing skills. That might mean a slight change in body composition. Maybe it means, shedding a couple pounds. He's already undersized, quote, for his position, but I'm fascinated by this, and I think that should we see him more as that 3-tech role or, working on those pass rushing skills this year, I think that we end up inevitably talking about him. He has that unfortunate role of you can be a great, great, great run stuffer and it may not show up on the stat sheet. And if you're compared to Jared Verse, who has a very different job in LA, and he's racking up all these sacks, people are going to be like, well, what was Seattle doing? How could they be doing this? But that being said, I think Byron Murphy could take a step forward. It's not like he had the most amazing rookie season in the world and it just didn't show up. No, I think Jared Verse had an amazing rookie season, and I would have liked to see more from Byron. And I think that there's a lot of room to grow for him this year. I'd be fascinated by him embracing that role.
Second down. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler released the top 10 quarterback list today. Mm-hmm. What are your biggest takeaways?
So I have 2 big takeaways. Number 1 is the least surprising thing on the planet, but it's something we should know as Seahawks fans. No, Sam Darnold did not appear in the top 10, nor was he in the honorable mentions, nor was he in the players also receiving votes category. Aaron Rodgers was, though, and the players also receiving votes.
Pardon?
Instead, my second and even bigger takeaway from this is the lowest rank category on these top quarterbacks can be absolutely shocking. The 2 to me that stood out were someone had Mahomes as their 4th quarterback. His lowest rank came in at 4th. And I'm like, okay, look.
Being a hater.
I think you can figure out, I think you could figure out Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, 1 through 4. You kind of mix them around a little bit, but I don't know that I could make sense of a list that had Mahomes at 4. I could make sense of a list that had him at 2. Not that had him at 3. It does. Mahomes at 4th is crazy. Even crazier might be Lamar at 6th. So Lamar is at 4 on this list. Sure, fine. Lamar doesn't have to be your top quarterback. You're telling me that in good faith, being a ball knower, you can tell me 5 quarterbacks you absolutely positively would build your franchise with before you put Lamar. You're telling me you'd rather have Matthew Stafford, Jaden Daniels. these are all excellent players. Every single player on this list is an amazing quarterback, and you can make a case for almost every single one of them that they should be even a spot higher, or, it's just, I found that to be a little egregious. I could not tell you 5 quarterbacks that I definitively, job on the line, would have start a game before Lamar Jackson. He is too dynamic. He is too explosive. He has a huge arm. He can change the game running the ball. I don't think it's a hot take, and it's funny to see a hot take in a group of people who really know ball. It's wild. So that was my big takeaway from that one.
They're down. What do you not want to see at training camp?
I better not see a wide open center battle late into the offseason.
Oh, no.
I do not want to hear in the year of our Lord 2025 on, let's say, September 1st or September 5th. I do not want to hear, yeah, we got a good look at Olu today. We really like him. Jalen's having a pretty good day out there. We've got this guy you've never heard of in your entire life from a D3 who was a walk-on. He worked with the ones a little bit. We just signed a 37-year-old.
Flashbacks.
We just signed a 37-year-old free agent, Carson Wagon.
I hate
and
hearing all
Carson's
these words
here, and
when
he's
it's like
having a good
90
day.
degrees outside.
No, what I want to hear is on August 18th, they're already like, oh man, Olu's crushing it out there. We can't wait to see him out there. Maybe it's Jalen, whoever it is. I want, at some point in training camp, to hear them sound really confident about the battle center. I may not be. Me, watching from afar, not having drafted any of these players, might be going, well, we'll see. I just want to feel like this team, at this revolving door of a position, feels really good about someone, and I do not want this to be that is sold the week before the season starts.
4th down. All right, Stacy. Tonight's a home run derby.
Yes.
Which Seahawk would win a home run derby?
So I tasked us with writing down the Seahawk and not telling each other. So we're going to answer on 3. 1, 2, 3. Gray
John
Zabel.
Reese Plumlee. He's a
Gray Zabel looks like he could hit bombs.
He looks the part. Yeah.
I thought about Jackson, and then I was like, well, I guess his brother played, but he didn't play. So I'm just assuming he'd want to play baseball.
Sure.
Then I thought about Jalen because dynamic. I'm like, surely he can play every sport. Most of the guys on this team could play any sport. Gray Zabel seems like someone who could hit it out of the park. He's got a power base.
Gray Zabel was a nice pitcher in high school. He could.
I think Gray Zabel. I think he could get at least a home run in a home run derby.
John Reese Plumlee was a quarterback and
$1 million. So.
And now he's a receiver.
I won. Taking a look around the timeline next.
He's the southpaw from down under, Ryan Roland Smith with Wyman and Bob.
What was your reaction to Julio making the All-Star squad?
Julio going to the All-Star game is nothing but great. It's good for his confidence. I would say J.P. Crawford had a bigger case at shortstop than Julio did at center field to make the All-Star game. When you have a leadoff hitter with the on-base that he has, I thought J.P. had a bigger case.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
It is that time of year. I cannot wait for the weather to get warm like it is now on consecutive days. That means I can break the motorcycle out, ride to work, ride all over the place, and I love it more than just about anything. But I also know that it's not a matter of if, but when you get in an accident, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you, when you're injured in a motorcycle crash, don't settle for firms that say they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who live it. Law Tigers has been a part of the writing community for nearly 25 years nationwide. They're here 24/7, 365 days a year because writers deserve real support when they need it. Law Tigers is the resource writers can turn to when they are in need. Law Tigers is out at all the events and supporting all clubs and shops. The Law Tigers are always by your side. Your case evaluation is always free. There are no fees until your case settles. The Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Walking away from an interaction with a customer that says, I can't believe how easy this was. I can't thank you enough for helping me.
Our strategy with pricing is not to be the highest price and not to be the lowest price, but to be a really good price and to provide a really good experience to the customer.
Yeah, I have a ton of really memorable customers. Afterwards, to thank us, he sent us this beautiful basket of candies and fruits and stuff. It was just really sweet. It felt like we were truly helping.
Receiving a handwritten letter that's personalized to a salesperson or service advisor or a technician expressing gratitude, and then taking that home and sharing that with your family and hanging that on your refrigerator, that's the difference.
You hear it from one person, and then another, and another. You come to realize it's not a script, it's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Get lower energy bills, cleaner air, and year-round comfort with AeroSeal duct sealing. Normally $2,500. Now just $99 for PSE customers with each replacement furnace or heat pump from Home Comfort Alliance. Learn more at homecomfortalliance.com today.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. On a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
The future is here, so why is your internet stuck in the past? With Quantum Fiber Internet, you can get next-level multi-gig speed on a reliable fiber network. Fair and honest pricing with no annual contracts or bundling required. And whole home 360 Wi-Fi to make sure your devices are ready to take you where you want to go. So you can stream, post, game, surf, like, and love to your heart's content. You do you. Let Quantum Fiber Internet take care of the rest. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service, and speed in select locations only.
Why is Mazda of Everett the #1 dealer on the West Coast? Mazda of Everett is locally owned and operated for 20 years. They work hard to get you their best deal every time and to make sure you drive away happy. With over 700 new Mazdas, they stock more than anyone in the Seattle area. Find out for yourself why people keep coming back to Mazda of Everett. Take advantage of the Mazda of Everett price during the More to Move You sales event. MazdaofEverett.com. Claims based on Mazda USA inventory and sales reports.
How we going, mates? It's Ryan Roland Smith for Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. So I've told you this before. I dropped 30 pounds in 60 days, but that was back in the month of March. Well, how am I doing now? I'm doing awesome. I'm keeping the weight off. I haven't even moved in regards to adding the pounds. I've kept right there at a steady 220, feeling amazing. I only have to, measure myself, check in basically once a week now, but this is so easy. I have to travel a lot for the season with the Mariners, obviously, and heading off to MLB Network on the East Coast. So it can be tough. I get it when you travel, some of the airport food and everything else, it can be tough. But listen, they give you the systems, the guidelines to keep you in check and to keep the weight off. It is so easy, and I can't believe how well it worked. Go to eastsideweightlossklinic.com, have a free 15-minute conversation with Dr. Ryan Coogan and his team, and change your life just like I did right now and keep the weight off. It is the best feeling ever.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
It's The Timeline on Bump and Stacy. Curtis Rogers in for Michael Bumpus today. Hey. And we are starting with a baseball story right up your alley. A lot of people in baseball, Curtis, are big mad at Brewer star Jacob Mizrowski. Why?
He did nothing wrong.
He did nothing wrong.
He's just striking everybody out, right?
Well, he's absolutely shining. Outdueled Paul Skeens.
Sure.
Struck out a ton of Dodgers. Really, really strong start.
Nice start to his career.
Five career starts to his career.
Cup of coffee.
He's been named a replacement for the NL All-Star team.
Oh.
So the Phillies had multiple players slam the decision after starting pitchers Ranger Suarez and Christopher Sanchez were passed over in favor of the rookie starter for the Brewers. Philadelphia rewarded Sanchez with a $500,000 All-Star bonus anyway, which is actually really cool, even though he didn't make the All-Star team.
I don't have an issue with Mizorowski making the National League All-Star team.
I get the frustration and anger.
Sure, from especially, I believe Sanchez has an ERA, or Ranger Suarez has an ERA, I believe, under 2 right now. And Sanchez has been really, really good for the Phillies as well. He's a lefty pitcher. But again, I think Major League Baseball picked Mizorowski because 12 other starting pitchers had passed on the
right.
Opportunity
Important to note,
pitch in
he
the
was
National
not
League.
someone that, even though he's kind of become a talking point, become really exciting, they went out and saw it. It was a backup plan.
Yeah.
He's just fortunate enough to be that plan.
Sure. And look, he has been a phenom since getting promoted, about a month ago. I just don't have an issue with this. And you look at the criticisms that the Phillies players, and it's not even Suarez and Sanchez who have the issue with this. It's their teammates. It's the guys who I think have been to All-Star games too. Trey Turner says, quote, "It's not the All-Star game in the sense that the best players go there or people who have the best season. It's whoever sells the most tickets or has been put on social media the most." Trey, my guy, isn't that kind of what stars are? The guys who sell the most tickets?
And they sell the most tickets for a reason. It's not like, you have a guy that does absolutely nothing for his entire career and then ends up being famous.
Mm-hmm.
Even if guys have down seasons, Julio, for instance, earlier this year, people were critical of that pick, but ultimately he does sell tickets. You know why? Because he is talented. Because anyone who's seen a baseball game in their lives, they might be frustrated by Julio, but they can look at him and recognize that he has talent.
It's an all-star game. Like, you want stars in your game. You don't want all nobodies in your all-star game, right? Like, I just don't see the issue with bringing in this Mizorowski kid. Yes, he has made 5 starts, and we have no idea what his big league career is going to look like after this. But you know what? A lot of dudes have made one all-star team that no one remembers.
I will say there is a great case to be made for Christopher Sanchez. I feel for him that he was passed over here. I give a tip of the cap to the Phillies for still giving him that all-star bonus. He's allowed just 14 earned runs over his past 10 starts.
Pretty good. That's really good.
That's really good.
It is. But to the casual baseball viewer right now, who is more popular to people who are on social media? It's Jacob Mizorowski.
Yeah.
It's the Miz. That is the person that Major League Baseball is probably really excited to see. And I bet they're going to try and get him in the game at some point, especially because of how hard he throws. I think he's already thrown like 60 pitches over 100 miles an hour in just those 5 starts. So, yeah, there is no controversy here. It is an all-star game. It is a bummer that Suarez and Sanchez couldn't go, and I bet the decision was made too late in the week to where Suarez and Sanchez probably couldn't, back out of commitments that they had made, whether it be like vacations or whatnot. But, we're all going to be fine.
Let's move on to some real controversy.
Okay.
The eating habits of a new Seattle Mariner. Everyone likes peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, but no one likes them as much as Mariners comp round pick Luke Stevenson.
We got to ask Luke Stevenson, by the way, about his PB&Js. This is a couple games in a row now. We've seen him chowing down in game.
It's good for you.
Yeah.
Get the protein, the sweetness. It fills you up.
Everyone's.
You got the sandwich details. I'm trying to keep it together. Okay, first of all, he makes over $1,500 a year.
Wait, what?
Hold on.
For a season.
1,500?
Yes, guys.
Does he have one every 2 seconds?
My sources say.
Your sources better get fact checked here. That's a lot.
That's 4 a day. Don't question my source. That's not that many. That's not that many. Listen, he wouldn't divulge the type of peanut butter. He said, I can't tell you that.
But it is peanut butter and not almond butter?
Listen, he said I can't divulge it. He did say it's made with love. And it's a special kind of bread.
Danny, you gotta give him.
And then, hold on.
We gotta know this kind of stuff.
Folger Boaz turned and looked at me and said, they're unbelievable.
That is that many. That is that many sandwiches. It is a problem. If you look at just the macros, the macro profile of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is actually not that bad. It gets a bad rep because we see it as being like a child snack. But you think about it, if you use, depending on the type of bread you use, maybe using a sugar-free jelly or like a healthier option, and you aren't using too much, you've got a great protein source, some fats, some carbs, especially if you use like a whole wheat or a sprouted bread, some fruit. Great, fantastic. However, if you are having, let's say 4 to 5 a day, you are having 8 to 10 slices of bread. You are most certainly having more than 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. 2 tablespoons of peanut butter already almost 200 calories and a ton of fat. Again, a great protein source when it's 2 tablespoons. When you're talking about you're eating like a quarter of peanut butter and 8 to 10 slices of bread, this is reckless. This is reckless. This is irresponsible. This is disrespectful to the food pyramid.
Wow.
Line with the food pyramid, which is a scam. But this is actually a horrible food choice. And you need more vegetables.
Fun that he is 21 years old. And when we're 21, we can eat whatever we want and feel no consequence of what we have shoved down our gullet.
I would have a whole pizza and lose weight.
Limited,
Psychopath?
have unlimited food available to them via their schools via their school's cafeteria.
Yes.
Like he could probably roll up to there any time and pick up like an Uncrustable or pick up a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and just be like, yeah, charge it to the game, baby. Like he doesn't need to go and make money. You're not going to be able to make 5 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches
a day.
Well,
no,
that
let
might
me
be
tell
the
you
only
what,
thing you
that's
have
what I'm
to
saying.
eat at
When
that
I was in
point.
college and my food card would run out and I had no money, the last things that I would buy would be peanut butter and bread because I knew that I could make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
This will sustain me.
Yeah, then that would sustain you. And those were days when you'd have like 2 at least. But oh my God, 5? We're talking 4 or 5 a day?
That's too much. That's too much.
How do you find the time?
I would simply,
I
would maybe start my day off making 5 and then just like putting them in for
world where you are on your 10th sandwich and it's day 2.
2 days.
You are sick of it?
Do you have time to eat anything else? Like I would be sick of peanut butter and jelly sandwich. If I did the Luke Stevenson diet for 3 days, I would be done with peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for the year.
5 pounds easily. And 2 pizzas a day for 5 days, you'd be kind of sick of pizza.
Yeah.
Which is insane to think about. But, like, I think you have to be a little bit of a psycho to not. And you know what? I want that in a winner. I want to know he's a psycho. So this is great. This checks out for me. Checks all the boxes. Coming up next, one of the all-time greats is a huge fan of Cal Raleigh. And we actually get to hear what he thinks of the switch hitter in his record-setting season. Don't go anywhere.
The All-Star Fantastic Four. It's now the Mariners Fantastic Five.
Welcome to Randyland.
As Randy El Rosarena joins Andres, Brian, Julio, and Cal.
Holy smokes.
In the 2025 Midsummer Classic. Tomorrow afternoon at 5 from Truist Park in Atlanta. On the home of the Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Dust off your cowboy boots and grab your hats because Neil McCoy is coming to the Event Center at Silver Reef Casino Resort on Saturday, July 26th. Tickets are available now at silverreefcasino.com, starting at just $50. Mark your calendars and get ready for a boot-stomping good time at Silver Reef Casino Resort. Get your tickets now at silverreefcasino.com.
Silver Reef Casino Resort off I-5, exit 260.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Are you still using allergy pills and sprays to treat your allergy attacks? I'm Dr. Ryan Stern with the Stern Sinus Center. Nasal congestion, sneezing, runny nose, snoring, facial pain are just a few of the sinus symptoms we can help you out with. From allergy workups and treatments to modern nasal breathing procedures to advanced outpatient balloon sinuplasty, we can diagnose and treat your problems. Let us help you get relief, easily, quickly, and permanently. Find us in Federal Way or Auburn or at sternsinus.com. That's sternsinus.com.
Summer is here and Washington Energy's BOGO 40% off sale is on now. Update and enhance your home with beautiful new windows and doors expertly installed by Washington Energy Services. Save today with one of our best deals of the year. Buy one energy efficient window, get the second at 40% off. And BOGO 40% off all entry, patio, and interior doors right now. From traditional to modern home updates, and with over 65 years of award-winning installations, Washington Energy is the clear choice. Call today for a free estimate.
You wanted to be cool, which led you to smoking, which led to a pack a day. Then you met that special someone, which led to starting a life with them, which led to wanting to live longer, which led to quitting. Then you heard you may be at risk for lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Get rid of stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin with ProSculpt, the simple one-day permanent fat reduction and skin tightening treatment. Book your free consultation at prosculpt.com.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
One of the all-time greats, Johnny Bench, saw his pre-All-Star break home runs by a catcher record smashed by Cal a while ago, which is crazy. Cal was
around like early June.
Yeah, I remember when that happened. Cal was instead chasing Barry Bonds for the most all-time. That being said, not necessarily comparisons, but talking about Cal breaking these records for all-time catchers has been a conversation happening for a little while. And it was, I think, months ago that we all learned that Johnny Bench is a massive fan of Cal Raleigh. He would be asked about him in interviews and would always just have high praise. Brock and Salk were able to get him on the show and asked him a few questions about Cal. We're going to run through some of the things that stood out most to us that we felt were most insightful. So we're going to start with leadership and how you show it in the clubhouse as a catcher.
You show up on time. You take charge. You show up on the field. You don't ask any special favors. You just guide. You're up there. If here's Cal standing at the cage. Here's Cal dressed. He's ready to go. Here's Cal on time. You don't have to be the earliest guy in the place. You got to be dedicated to what you do. You got to be the guy that walks out there to the pitcher and understands, develops a rapport with every pitcher. You got to be a psychologist because you got to understand that pitcher. And then you got to go up there with an approach when, there's 4 ways to have a great game as a catcher. You call a good game, which is the number one thing for a catcher. You throw out runners, you block home plate, which isn't anything anymore, and you get to hit.
I would, as a sidebar, love to know more about calling a game and kind of like be able to ask people within this organization how they feel Cal does there and what it looks like in a modern game. Calling a game was different when Bench was catching versus when Cal's catching.
For sure.
Just like managing a game is different now compared to when Bench was in the game because you just have way more voices there. So calling a game now is like, oh no, we have an entire book put together and it's Woodworth and it's me and it's all these people.
Yeah.
Sidebar. But I thought this was really insightful, Curtis, because I always wonder what it's like to lead when you may not always have the performance that you can point to. If Aaron Judge is a leader on the Yankees, it would be easy. He'd walk in and go, I'm Aaron Judge. Deal with it. When you're a catcher leading, it's different because unlike what Cal's doing, you typically are not going to be leading in a number of offensive categories.
It's one thing that Bench said in that cut that stood out to me was just showing up every day, which as a catcher, that's the toughest spot to show up every day in because of just, how beat up you get in that job every single day. And the fact that Cal has not had any sort of nicks and bruises that have kept him out for more than, just a game or two at a time in his career.
He's missed 2 games.
Yeah, he's missed 2 games this season. And those were scheduled off days. Like those were like, hey, Cal, we need you to take a breather. Like I get that you want to be out there every single day, which I think is one of the best things about him is that you are going to have to basically strap him down to the bench to keep him out of the game. And I think other guys on the team look at that and say, well, if this guy is showing up every day, then I have to as well. Like there's no excuse for me in the outfield where, I'm not getting beat up every single play. I may be getting hit like 4 or 5 balls to me in the game at all. I think that speaks volumes to everybody in that clubhouse seeing Cal be there every single day in posting.
Johnny was also asked about Cal's approach to the plate, talked about simplifying things.
Now you're not thinking about all the stuff you do, and you walk to the plate, your mechanics are good to begin with. You start your hands back, your right knee stays back, left knee stays back, whichever one you're hitting from, which side, and you're able to get your hands started, and your selection. And it's then, you're selecting, you're zoning, you're looking for pitches in a zone. And then when you get it, you go after it. And that's about as simple as it can be, and it's how easy it is. But, there's very few guys that can achieve that because of whether it be the visual thing, which we know is the most important thing about the eyes, about hitting, is being able to see the ball and staying in rhythm with the pitcher. And Cal he's done that in spades, I'd say.
I thought Adam Jude, we talked a lot about Jeff Passan's feature on Cal, which just came out this morning. It's a fantastic read, and it's not behind a paywall, which is very cool, so go check it out. Adam Jude had one that came out last week through the Seattle Times, and he talked a lot about Cal's changed specifically at the plate. I thought that was a great resource for like people that want to know, no, really, what did he do? Like, no, really, I want to know why this is happening. And Adam talked about him working with not just Justin Turner, but Justin Turner's hitting coach and obviously Edgar and the rest of the Mariners hitting staff and some of the specific work that they did in terms of like how he'd work with the tee and moving the tee higher and all these things. And that concept of when you're simplifying things, you're taking in things that work for you, and then you're able to just push aside things that don't work for you. I think that'd be so hard to do.
Yeah, I saw a side-to-side of Cal's 2024 batting stance and what it is now, and it's a lot. It's quieted down a bit. Like, there wasn't. I mean, it's not like to say he was, flailing his bat around like crazy before the pitch got there, but everything is just quieted down.
Arms are higher.
Yeah, arms are higher. Yeah, and it's just allowed him to stay in the zone longer. It's allowed him to not be late on as many balls as he was last year. So, I mean, he is just everything that he has done this season is entirely through just improvement. It's through repetition, it's through practice. Like it is. Just a testament to like, hey, you put in that work, like this is what it's going to be for you. You can be this caliber of player.
I think that's the thing that I, just full disclosure, all jokingly text Curtis and Bump, like because you have fans across baseball that will go, "What is he juicing? This doesn't make sense.
Right?
Why is this happening? This guy was nobody before this." And so, like, if he has a big game, I'll be like, "There he goes again," like pretending to be these fans. But it's in part because I think there were not a lot of people. The Mariners haven't been a winning team. Of course, people aren't paying attention to them. But I think that it speaks to maybe our collective lack of understanding of what goes into improving as an athlete, of our understanding of how much athletes can improve if you ignore all the work that these guys put in. This was not a single offseason per se for Cal.
Right.
This was, I've heard from one reporter that working on the right side and really focusing on that is something that happened prior to 2024. And you didn't see the improvement in 2024, but he was focused on that for a full year before you started seeing those big jumps. And then we know that from Adam last offseason, working with Justin Turner and working with all those guys. Like this is years in the making for Cal, who, by the way, had been a power hitter.
Yeah, he
profiled as a power
really
guy.
Good power
just
hitter.
Wasn't consistently hitting from the right side, got more reps there, tweaked his stance, tweaked his work that he was doing, learned how to balance a little bit better. And by the way, it's not like he's hitting 350.
No.
And he's fine-tuned himself to put the ball in the air and pull the ball, and it's really cool. Like that's just objectively cool baseball. And you can go, wow, that's so awesome. So what went into that? Why'd you do that? And I think that that's just a much more interesting story than, well, how's this happening?
Yeah.
Like you're hearing answers.
That was the
why.
one, I think, criticism a lot of people had about Cal Raleigh's plate approach before this season. It was like, oh, well, if he could just make more consistent contact, like we would see his fullest version. And that's exactly what's happened this season. He has made a lot more consistent contact. It's been loud, and it's been highly beneficial to what this Mariners team is doing. And I'm super excited to see what he's going to do coming out of the break.
I am excited to see what the Mariners are going to do coming out of the break. They got a series coming up against Houston. But, Curtis, this Mariners team just showed the front office something very, very important. That's coming up next.
The season of Cal continues.
And the next offer on the way to Cal, swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Big Dumper is in the Derby.
Goodbye, baseball.
Like, what if Cal was doing this for the Yankees and Judge was doing this for the Mariners? Who's the MVP then?
Hear Cal Raleigh in the Home Run Derby today at 5. Live from Truist Park in Atlanta. Only on the home of the Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors. When you hear Harley Exteriors, I want you to think windows manufactured right here in Washington and specifically designed for our Pacific Northwest homes and climate. These are the windows you want. They look absolutely stunning, much better than a traditional vinyl window, and they're going to lower your energy bills and provide year-round comfort. They also come with a double lifetime fully transferable warranty, meaning not only are you covered for glass breaking or damaged seals, it's going to help your resale and home value. These windows last up to 60 years. Harley Exteriors is making these windows affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. In July, Harley Exteriors is offering 50% off basic installation. No payments, no interest for 12 months, and an additional $200 off your project. Think Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more right here in the Puget Sound. Call 833-HARLEY or just go to harleyexteriors.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where Groundworks comes in. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
It's the World Fighting Championships at Emerald Queen Casino Event Center, Saturday night, October 25th. Experience the thrill and excitement of high-energy mixed martial arts. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Don't miss this amazing professional mixed martial arts event, the World Fighting Championships, October 25th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older, need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
Matt Coker here from West Coast Men's Health. Guys, Viagra is not the answer for your problem. I know you think it is, but Viagra has horrible side effects, and for most men, the longer you're on it, the less it works. Viagra is not a curative medication. It's not fixing your problem. It's a Band-Aid for a shark bite. Acoustic wave therapy is the newest technology that can correct your problem, not just treat it. We can do something that no pill can do. We can restore your blood flow naturally. Get off Viagra today. Change your life like the thousands of men who already have, regardless of your age or your medical history. If you're tired of dealing with Peyronie's disease or erectile dysfunction, then call West Coast Men's Health today.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Hey, Mike Salk here with some exciting news from a family-owned business that's local here in Western Washington. Yeah, we love to root for these guys. It's Riverside Roofing, and they've once again earned the prestigious GAF Master Elite President's Club. Well, that puts them in the 99.9th percentile of all roofers in the nation. So you might remember I've been talking about only 3% of roofing companies nationally qualify for GAF Master Elite status. But how many of those achieve President's Club? Well, that's only 2%. Truly the cream of the crop. Proudly from Marysville and serving homeowners all over Western Washington, Riverside Roofing is the roofing company you can trust. So what does that mean for you, the homeowner? Well, it means you're hiring the best. A company that gets high marks in performance, reliability, and service, plus an elite warranty to match. Highly reviewed and highly recommended, certainly by me. Riverside Roofing is your go-to local roofing contractor. Book them now and get that roof done fast. I highly recommend them. Go to riversideroofingllc.com. They are the roofing company you can trust.
Tired of sitting on your suitcase? 2 words. Packing cubes. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway, an alternate route that'll help manage congestion on I-5 and other local roads. Now open and free through summer.
Upgrade your heat pump or air conditioner right now and save up to 25% during Home Comfort Alliance warehouse clearance sale. All remaining 2024 heat pumps and air conditioners are now up to 25% off. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com today.
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years, like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models? Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you can get big bucks for your old set as a trade-in and a hot price on the new models. Don't be sorry. Check out Video Only.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
It is officially MLB's All-Star break. The game itself is tomorrow. Lineup is out. Cal Raleigh hitting 4th, just behind Aaron Judge, who's hitting 3rd. He will first, though, participate, Cal, in the Home Run Derby tonight. That starts at 5 p.m.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. from the Quantum Fiber studio
This is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
All right. Well, I know that for the rest of the week, we're going to be talking about Cal and the Home Run Derby tonight. Reacting to that tomorrow, we have the All-Star game the day after. Lineup is just out. Aaron Judge is hitting third. Cal batting fourth in the lineup. So we'll be talking about that, I'm sure, Wednesday. Well, I won't be here, but you and Bump can have some fun with the rest of that this
he's
week.
going yard in the All-Star game.
Exactly. And then, of course, this team is heading out of the All-Star week facing off against Houston. And finished with a great series against the Tigers. So even though we will be talking a ton, in fact, even later this hour, about All-Star Week and about the game itself, about the Derby, about the All-Stars we're going to be watching, I thought we'd take a quick step back and talk about what this Mariners front office actually showed. Or excuse me, what the Mariners actually showed the front office. So we had previously been debating whether or not, Curtis, they needed to show anything.
Right.
John Morosi, for instance, said, hey, you're going to have people not named Cal Raleigh show that they can get hits and show that this offense is worth investing in and they can make a push. And I made the argument that I don't know that they need to show anything. I think if they lose all 6 of these games, the front office should still buy, because you will just have to look at this team, understand they can be a wild card team. I need to add. I must add. I cannot take a team that's been to the playoffs one time in 23 years and go, there's always next year. Loser mentality. You must add. However, the good news is they didn't lose all 6, Curtis. They swept the Tigers.
They did. You split this road trip against the best team in the American League and a team that was up there among the best teams of the American League up until recently. A team that I still think is going to be very much in the hunt come October. The Yankees, I think they were just kind of going through a bit of a slump before the Mariners came to town. But you sweep the best team in the American League in their own ballpark, a ballpark in which they were 32-15. That's got to stand for something, right? Like, that's got to mean something when you are now 17 days away from the trade deadline. And now we all kind of expected the draft to take precedent for the Mariners and for really every front office across Major League Baseball in the last week or so. And now the draft will be over after, today? So I would say definitely coming out of the All-Star break, you should expect to see trades happening much more frequently than they have in the season's first half. And I think the Mariners should absolutely be involved in every single big name available at the deadline, because as we have talked about, is you've got the farm system in place to match any sort of price tag. Like, there is no trade I think that you could make this year that will set you back, 5-6 years. You have shown the ability to replenish your farm system. And I think what the team showed this weekend is yes, this is a team that can compete with the best teams in baseball.
Do I think that this team is going to look like the one we saw in 3 games against the Tigers for the rest of the season?
No.
I do not. However, did we see the potential that this team has, the real potential this team has in that series? I think we did. And that's the potential that some other people around baseball, Jim Bowden, a former executive himself, being one of them, has seen from this team. In fact, he says there's no excuse not to be pedal to the metal for the Mariners.
I'm not 50-50. I'm 100% pedal to the metal.
Great.
And I want to take advantage of this window that has the starting pitching and the closer that can run the table in October. And 2 years ago, I sat there covering the World Series watching 2 wild card teams, the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Texas Rangers in the World Series, as the Rangers won the World Championship. And I look at the Seattle Mariners and I say to myself, go get one big bat, get to the playoffs as a wild card team, which I think they will, and then you can run the table. If you make a trade for Josh Naylor and you put Josh Naylor at first base in this lineup and put him in between J-Rod and Cal Raleigh in this lineup, you're going to score enough runs and get there and let this pitching staff do their thing.
And for that matter, Jim, why not 2 bats? I mean, we'll see what the Diamondbacks end up doing. You are not the only team that's going to be going after Suarez and Naylor, so you're going to have to probably even overspend a little bit in a seller's market. But I find it so perfect to end this first part of the season as we head into the All-Star break with that sweep, because the Mariners are such a frustrating team at times. They can completely fall apart. They can lose in ways that are new and fun and creative and make you pull your hair out and absolutely weep. And then they can win in ways that remind you not only that they have potential, but that potential is worth exploiting and really leaning into in a year where other teams are also deeply flawed. I don't look around the American League, baseball for that matter. The Dodgers are on a massive losing streak. They're a phenomenal team, though. But I don't look around the American League and go, you'll never catch them.
Right.
Are you crazy? Are you the Red Sox, this powerhouse in Boston? You're telling me that you think you can keep pace with Tampa Bay?
Yeah, there's no team.
Toronto?
There is no team in the AL that I look at and say, "Well,
every
why
single
bother?
team is flawed. Every single team is flawed.
Why bother to compete with them?"
Yeah,
you just showed that you can beat a really good team going head to head with them in a 3-game series. Yeah, I fully agree that the American League this season has just been so bad that any team that is within earshot of the wild card should absolutely be doing everything they can to go for it.
Well, and it's okay we make fun of kind of the wild card thing being like, oh, you're hanging the banner. But, like, look, man, it's
a viable route. It's a route.
I very much push back against the idea that, well, it's not worth selling if you're only going to get to the wild card. Because to get to the World Series, I regret to inform you, you have to get to the playoffs first.
Yeah.
It's a very important first step. Is actually getting
the
to
most important
qualifying for the postseason is
Sure.
a very important step to actually qualifying to be in a World Series.
Right. I'm taking a wild card berth over sitting at home in October.
I have experienced one playoff run for this team in my child and adult,
teenage and adult life. Yeah.
Sign me up for another. I will not. You'll not catch me looking down my nose on like. I don't feel like they're really better than the Yankees, and I think the Yankees would beat them in a playoff series, so never mind. I don't care. The Yankees already beat this team in a playoff series, and it's one of our most celebrated playoff runs ever. And then there's a playoff run we don't talk about.
Yeah. 2001 gets
2001
swept
apparently
under the
didn't
rug.
happen.
But I just, there is no reason why the Mariners should be sitting on their hands. There's no reason why they should just be content with what they've got or even look towards 26 and 27 in a way where it's like, well, what pieces can we sell off now that can help us down the line? I don't want to see a Josh Rojas for Paul Sewald trade. I don't want to see that. I want to see a trade where you, like, look, Harry Ford is the most tradable asset you have right now on your major league roster or in your farm system. And, like, there's no path forward for him to be the Mariners starting catcher of the future. I'm sorry, there just isn't. And a lot of people who are saying, like, no, you can't move Harry Ford. It's like, why? Why can you not move him?
Right.
There is no
Are you
path
Harry Ford's parents?
Exactly.
In that case, sure, but
there is no feasible path for him to be the Mariners starting catcher of the future. It is Cal Raleigh's job forever and ever, at least for the next 6 years through 2031. And, he'll be 34 years old by the time 2031 rolls around. But, like, I'm sorry, but Harry Ford's best value to you is used in a trade. Like, and it's not a knock on him as a person or him as a player. Like, he is a great player. Every team in baseball would kill to have a 22-year-old catcher knocking on the door at the big league level who is absolutely raking at the AAA level. Every team in baseball would also kill to have a 28-year-old starting catcher in Major League Baseball who is 1 home run short of the Major League record for first-half home runs in baseball history. Like, that's where we're at right now. You have got to prioritize the Major League roster, and if it means trading somebody like Harry Ford, then go do it.
206, exactly why the Mariners won't do anything at the deadline. Sweeping the Tigers said we don't need anything. Our offense just scored 35 runs against the best team in baseball. 206, I hear you, and I will let you know that some other people texted in similar sentiment about, like, now I'm worried they won't do anything. But guys, at a certain point, we have to stop ourselves from being doomers no matter the outcome and just accept that a good outcome happened. Right? If the Mariners would have been swept by the Tigers, we'd be entering the break saying either you believe this team should sell or now ownership's going to, sell off these pieces or the front office is going to sell because they don't believe in them. They swept the Tigers, and now you're worried they won't buy because they think they're too good. Like, you have to let yourself feel good about this team sometimes, and I think you should feel pretty good about the Mariners entering the All-Star break. And also, one thing I really want to hammer home, you may personally dislike so much about what this front office does. They do know baseball. There's no way on planet Earth that Jerry Dipoto and Justin Hollander are looking at this offense thinking they're set.
Right.
A+. Like, no, absolutely not. These guys know this team in and out. They know their weaknesses in and out. They might feel more confident about, let's say, their decision to sign Solano than you did. But they are not looking at this team thinking that the version we saw against the Tigers is who we can count on. They know that that's not true. They know it.
Yeah. I don't think anybody in that Mariners front office is fully satisfied with where they're at, wins and losses wise, 51-45 right now. And I think, too, you got to have some kind of pressure on them to continue to improving this team. I think you've got to want to win a World Series. You've got to want to make the playoffs. And by making a big trade here leading up to the deadline, that's going to put you in a much better position. Yes, it stinks that they didn't make the playoffs last year after trading for Randy Arozarena, but that should not scare you away from making a big splash like that again. That should never be a reason why you should be afraid to make a move. I think missing the playoffs last year was no fault of Randy Arozarena's. It was the rest of that offense. That offense last year was brutally bad. I think you're going to need another move like that. I think you might need to go a little bit more in the Castillo trade in 2022, and then in the Randy trade in 2024. They also made a bunch of like minor moves. I thought last year's worked out better than like 2022's, where you got Justin Turner, who was very welcome in the clubhouse. Jimmy Garcia,
as we learned now, instrumental to Cal season.
Exactly. But I mean, Jimmy Garcia just was never healthy after they traded for him, so he was kind of a wash. But Turner was a good addition. In 2022, they added like Matt Boyd, Jake Lamb, I think was a guy that they added in 2022. They just didn't contribute much down the stretch. Now Matt Boyd's an all-star this year. Weird how that works, but
it's a classic Mariners curse.
But he's also a pitcher, and it's not like there was going to be room for him here. But I think you got to go in a little bit more than just kind of those ancillary moves where it's like, like we're getting this 37-year-old first baseman who is only playing on a 1-year deal, low risk, but very little reward to come from it. No, I think if you traded for Suarez and Naylor, that would be incredible. Like that would be an A-plus trade deadline for what this Mariners team needs. You address both corner infield spots in one fell swoop. Yeah, absolutely go do that.
People rightfully get really critical about the Mariners decision makers when they talk about offseason signings. The budget has been a lot lower than people think it should be. They've really hated a lack of moves from this team. We have heard players around baseball, Justin Turner in that USA Today article, publicly criticize this team. Sure. However, I would not conflate that with their midseason acquisitions where they've been shockingly one of the more aggressive teams. Castillo was one of the most sought-after arms.
They beat out the
Randy
Yankees
Arozarena. Yeah, Randy Arozarena was probably the biggest bat moved at the deadline.
Yeah.
So those are two. I know you mentioned the smaller pieces, and they're really important. And I'm glad that you went and kind of summed up, like, here's what the trade deadline moves have been. They've been far more active in trade deadline acquisitions and far more aggressive than they have been with free agency.
Oh, yeah. Like
it's not been close.
This is the most active time of year when we see additions made by the Mariners.
Yeah.
It pales in comparison to what we see in the offseason. The offseason, it's the Donovan Solanos, it's the Mitch Garvers.
And it's fair to criticize that.
Yes.
It's fair to say, hey, you need to supplement this team with better free agents. That is a completely valid critique about the team. I don't know that saying they never do anything at the deadline. It's not even that it's not fair. I think it's factually incorrect.
It's weird. It's kind of like we talk about it with John Schneider a lot, how like his in-season trades have worked out way better than his off-season trades.
Way better than his costlier trades, barring Russell Wilson.
I think the same could be said for this Mariners front office. Their in-season trades have worked out far better than anything they've done in the off-season, and that dates back quite a while.
Well, and mostly because if Luis Castillo was entering free agency, you think he'd ever sign with Seattle? I don't think he would have. If Randy Arozarena was entering free agency and you had a couple other teams vying for his services, I don't think Seattle wins.
No, I don't think so either.
So when you can just instead give them the best trade package and benefit from not being, let's say, in their division, or in the case of the Reds, like you're not even a team they have to worry about, then you get the upper hand.
I am just ready to see some moves get made because I think the Mariners more than any team in baseball, can improve themselves the most. I think they have the opportunity to make this thing look a lot different come July 31st than what it looks like right now.
And they absolutely should.
Yes.
In fact, I would love for it to happen before the 31st. I would love a world where they can add an impact bat and take advantage of having that guy soon. You know what I mean?
Do it between the hours of 10 and 2.
That's
Monday
the
through
other
Friday.
thing that I was going to, it's a small request, but Justin, Jerry, if you guys are listening, I'm sure you're big fans of the show.
Right. Yeah, of course.
If we could just kind of isolate, if we can just mound visit. Someone was texting in, mound visit over here. If you guys could make this trade.
Between,
say 10:30.
Yeah.
10:30 is a great time for me.
That's a good one. 11 even.
11 a.m. Pacific
Sure.
is a great time for us as well. We know that it's really about when you guys could benefit from it, but let's think of us for
a minute
for
or
just
two.
a minute. Frankly, for a change.
Yeah.
For the first, let's think about us for once.
Please.
What I deserve.
Yeah.
And what I deserve is to be in the breaking news promos that Matt creates.
That's right.
You guys know that nothing makes me happier and nothing
Than
makes me
hearing
more
your-
full of
yeah.
myself than hearing
Breaking
my
news.
voice on commercials. It's all I want. I'll find breaking news and break it. I don't care if it's not relevant.
Just bring it up. Like,
Yeah.
Wow, look at what the
Breaking
Texas
news.
Rangers did.
The Dodgers acquiring, and they're like, why are you doing that? Please, Matt, make a promo. Matt, can you hear me? Let's get to headline rewrites. Not this one. Different Matt.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number one, the Mariners took LSU lefty Kade Anderson with the third pick in yesterday's Major League Baseball draft. Here's how that sounded.
With the third pick of the 2025 MLB draft, the Seattle Mariners select Kade Anderson, a left-handed pitcher from LSU.
What's the real headline?
More like Cascade Anderson now that he's in Seattle.
That's right.
Because the Cascade
Cascades,
Mountains.
yeah.
It's very.
It's very
Can we go to the next
northwest.
one? Why are you putting it off? Let me shine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Fine.
Headline rewrites.
I didn't even want to talk about. I want to get to this
I
headline.
know.
You're right.
Today is the Home Run Derby.
Yes.
Cal Raleigh is the betting favorite ahead of O'Neill Cruz and James Wood. What's the real headline?
I wish James would try to beat Cal, but I think the dumper will O'Neill Cruz to the final. It still hits.
Do you get it, Curtis?
Do you get it?
Do you get it?
No, I got it the
I don't think
first
he gets
two
it.
times we've done it.
I don't think so. I feel
No,
like your
homonyms.
reaction.
No, I get
yeah,
it.
your
Yeah.
reaction's almost like it went over your head. It is kind of like a
No.
high IQ joke.
You're the comedian's comedian?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But Cal's the betting favorite.
You think he should be?
Yeah, I think
me
so. I think so. I think he absolutely should. I think he wins it tonight. And that's not just me being a homer. That's not just me being Mariners pre- and post-game host. Like, I think Cal Raleigh can absolutely win the Derby tonight.
Would you remind people about the Derby format?
Derby format, a little bit different. You don't see the head-to-head until round 2. It is the best 4 scores of all 8 hitters. That's who advances to round 2, and then it's head-to-head from there. So you want to hope that Cal gets one of the top 2 scores of the first round so that he is in position to
Advance more easily.
and he'll know what score it is that he needs to top instead of just kind of hitting as many as possible.
I'm like, the only thing I worry about is the power behind Wood and Cruz because they both can launch that
They can
thing
launch
to space.
missiles, yeah.
So I'm like, will they get, like when you get to those advanced rounds, are you talking about you're getting extra outs, you're getting extra, because they're just hitting bombs. Whereas Cal has beautiful swing. It's really, like you said, it's really easy to replicate, repeat. I'm sure he'll hit a ton. Will he hit them quite as far?
I think
He's got power,
think
but those
Cal-
guys are like monsters.
So distance does benefit you in the Derby because it adds, I think, an extra 30 seconds to your round. But
James Wood is going to launch it to the moon.
yes, he will. But I think Cal's gonna do it.
We
I
believe in
really
you,
do.
Cal.
I really do.
What's next?
Headline rewrites.
Headline 3, 49ers receiver Juwan Jennings, who is scheduled to make $7.5 million in the final year of his deal, says he wants a new contract or a trade from the 49ers. That's per ESPN. What's the real headline?
I wish James would try to beat Cal. Sorry, that's not that. Another offseason, another 49ers trade request.
Yeah, every year.
It's a classic tradition.
Debo, Brandon Ayuk, Juwan Jennings. Who's it going to be next?
Ricky
Pearsall?
Not quite yet.
He
He's
hasn't
got a
done
couple more
anything
years.
in the league,
Yeah,
really.
it's pretty soon it's going to be someone just doing it to keep tradition alive. It's going to be a newly drafted rookie receiver going, look, I know I just signed my rookie deal, but I have to unfortunately hold out.
Kittle? I don't know. He seems very content in San Francisco. But hey, I like this kind of controversy before training camp starts.
I think part of it is that there has been almost every year a shift in which wide receiver has kind of become most important to this offense, whether through injuries, guys getting traded, guys getting utilized differently. Like, I know it sounds crazy to say, a couple years ago, but Juwan Jennings is actually hugely important to what they want to do and what they do so well. Mm-hmm. And if Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel were fully healthy and both here, obviously Deebo now with Washington, you wouldn't have that power. So I think it's that someone else becomes hugely important. And then he realizes, oh, I'm at the top now. I'm atop the pyramid, and now I can demand more money.
Jennings has been really, really good for them the last couple of years, but I just don't see him more as like a really good number 3 option. And that's not going to get you top of the market money. And I feel like he's probably seeking at least $20 million is my guess. He probably sees himself as a receiver that would be a 1,000-yard guy on any other team, and he might be. But I don't think that he's going to get what he wants ultimately. I think he's going to probably play his final year out on that number. Maybe they give him a little bit of extra bonus money to make him feel better about himself, but I just don't see Juwan Jennings getting what he wants.
I think we're about to have a massive story, a common thread through multiple training camps around the NFL, but we're just now hearing the beginnings of it. That's coming up next.
ESPN senior MLB insider Jeff Passett with Brock and Salk.
As we dig into the Julio Rodriguez week-to-week conversation, what stands out now?
You want to see, when it's prime time, how is this guy going to handle it? How is he going to react? What is he going to be? And we know he wants to be the guy. We know he wants to be in the center of everything, but we need to see it. Show us what you got.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with my buddy Dave Taylor from First Mark Insurance. You know, Dave, I love sport. You love sport. And I love sitting with coaches and hearing their game plan each and every week. What are the keys to a First Mark Insurance game plan?
It's a great question, Brock. I think there's really 3 keys to a great game plan with us. Number 1 is we want to make sure that our clients have the correct coverage for their unique specific needs. So that's number 1. Do you have the right coverage? Number 2, once we have the right coverage, are we getting that coverage at the most competitive price possible? And then last and not least would be, once we have the right coverage at the most competitive price, are we providing world-class service to those customers so that when they need it, they have someone there that's got their back?
Those are the 3 keys to a First Mark Challenge victory. And man, am I so glad Molly and I took the challenge. We are one of so many through a decade plus of being a First Mark Challenge victory. You can too. Just simply go to firstmarkinsurance.com. Firstmarkinsurance.com.
Well, here in our region, it's really common for homes to have damaged insulation or even no insulation at all in their crawl space or attic. Well, in the winter, that'll make your home cold and drafty. And in the summer months, it can turn your home into an oven. It's Mike Salk here, and utility companies have special incentives right now to help with the cost of having your home properly insulated, including a once-in-a-lifetime rebate from Puget Sound Energy. So if you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. Yes, they will cover up to 95% of the cost. And if you're anything like me, you love the idea of somebody else paying to improve your home, add value to it, and save you money along the way. How good does that sound? Don't wait. Call Crawl Pros to to learn what's going on behind that crawl space and attic hatch for free. And then what energy rebates you're eligible for. If you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
Why is Mazda of Everett the #1 dealer on the West Coast? Mazda of Everett is locally owned and operated for 20 years. They work hard to get you their best deal every time and to make sure you drive away happy. With over 700 new Mazdas, they stock more than anyone in the Seattle area. Find out for yourself why people keep coming back to Mazda of Everett. Take advantage of the Mazda of Everett price during the More to Move You sales event. MazdaofEverett.com. Claims based on Mazda USA inventory and sales reports.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Need a new roof but not in the budget? A new roof doesn't have to break the bank. Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Right now, State Roofing and Exteriors is offering 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's 2 years with no payments while getting the protection your home deserves. But this offer won't last forever. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to get on our summer schedule now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Summer is here, and now is the time to break through those weight loss frustrations. Hey, it's Dr. Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic, and we have a proven system that can help you lose weight and get healthy. No drugs, no side effects, no calorie counting, no exercise. Just teaching you the simple steps to become a fat-burning machine and keep it off long term. Remove the stress of trying to do this on your own and picture being down 20 to 30 pounds in just 60 days with our help. At Eastside Weight Loss Clinic, we know the secret for fast and lasting weight loss using real healthy foods and lifestyle changes. Schedule your free consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Yeah, look your best this summer. Even with a busy schedule and vacation, the Eastside Weight Loss Clinic plan isn't going to cause much disruption. Don't wait or put it off because you're busy. Lose weight during this summer and watch that transformation really happen for you.
Join the thousands of people who've lost 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 60 days. You can do our program in person in Kirkland or all remotely. Schedule your free phone consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Dave Wyman joined by Dr. Daniel Landis from Swedish CyberKnife. Dr. Landis, when treating prostate cancer, what can patients expect during CyberKnife treatment?
So the CyberKnife treatment's an outpatient procedure. Essentially, it's a 5-day treatment, about 30 minutes per day. You walk in, you walk out. You essentially don't feel anything at all during treatment. Many patients still work full-time while they're having treatment.
That's incredible. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife. Swedish.org/CyberKnife prostate.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We are getting back to the Mariners, talking the All-Star game in about 15 minutes, and we're bringing on Mariners insider Shannon Drayer at 1 p.m., so hang tight if that's what you're waiting for. In the meantime, I know a lot of you are waiting for some NFL updates, and we got them. Taking a look around the league, we're going to start with a retirement. And Ndamukong Suh announced his retirement from football. He last played for the Eagles in 2022, so maybe this one's been a long time coming. He retires as a 5-time All-Pro with Detroit, Miami, and Tampa Bay. Truly one of the coolest careers we've seen. He's got a Super Bowl ring, this one in his second stint with the Buccaneers. I could not believe this stat. He only missed 2 games due to injury in his 13-year career.
That's nuts.
I was like, surely that can't be right.
As a defensive tackle,
you
only
know what?
missing 2
Defensive
games?
players quietly, like we all talk about, like, oh, you wouldn't believe this quarterback has never missed time. Is this his first start that he's getting missed? There are a lot of defensive players. Like I look back at
Bobby Wagner.
Yeah,
he's
who like
incredibly durable.
Never, ever, ever missed time, and it blew my mind.
Yeah.
And Dominican Sue, one of them.
Gosh.
Also, for a lot of people, one of the dirtier players.
True. I mean,
another crown.
I do kind of wonder. I think he's a Hall of Fame caliber player.
Yes.
For sure. I just kind of wondered if maybe he burned a little too many bridges during his playing time. He didn't make a lot of friends.
He did not.
He was kicking people in the groin a lot, stomping on people's nether regions.
The difference is, I think that there are dirty, nasty players that in hindsight people will still appreciate for what they were able to do, and they'll see that dirtiness and nastiness as, while something that goes over the line in football, something that's ultimately a football thing. I think that when you burn bridges in the way that, like, I think Earl Thomas, who's like own teammates in Baltimore, maybe didn't, necessarily, like, that was a different kind of burning bridges that he'll have to work a little harder to overcome, even though he absolutely is a Hall of Fame safety, you know what I mean? So and was not a dirty player. So I think voters are more willing to overlook dirty plays as opposed to, this is a really weird ending to your career.
It is. One of the very best college careers, too. What he did at Nebraska, especially in that 2009 season, I have long felt that he should have won the Heisman Trophy that year. It went to Mark Ingram of Alabama, but I thought Sue's year in 2009 should have resulted in a Heisman Trophy. 12 sacks, 10 passes defensed, 20 and a half tackles for loss, 28 quarterback hits. He was a machine.
Defensive players have to... The winning a Heisman as a defensive guy, you have to truly...
Yeah. I mean, do we count Travis Hunter as a defensive guy?
No.
I don't think so.
Because he won it in part because of what he could do on
as
offense.
a receiver, yeah. Charles Woodson, to me, is still the only full-time defensive player to win the Heisman.
It's like, we've seen so many all-time greats that fell short, and you're thinking, what else does this guy have to do?
Yeah.
But you just can't impact the game in the same way that a quarterback can. And so it's just not going to happen.
Well, and part of Woodson's appeal in 1997 was his ability to return kicks, and he also occasionally lined up as a receiver. So it's not like he was just being an amazing defensive back.
Yeah.
He also had other facets to his game, too. Whereas Ndamukong Suh was strictly like, I'm going to rush the quarterback, or I'm going to stuff the run. And that speaks to how good he was as a
Do you think we'll ever see
player.
a defensive player win it?
Again, a strictly defensive player?
Strictly defensive player.
I think we have to see it at least some point, right? Like, you can't.
I don't know,
It
man.
has become a quarterback award.
College offenses are becoming more
or it
pro
has
ready.
become a running back award, quarterback.
I don't know that we're ever going to see it.
I hope we see it.
Moving on.
Bump doesn't hope we see it.
No, absolutely not. Bump would love it to be a wide receiver every year. Chargers second-round pick wide receiver Trey Harris is officially listed as a holdout. The Chargers' preseason schedule starts July 31st with a Hall of Fame game, so that's pretty notable for them. It may also be notable for us here in Seattle, Curtis, where we've been wondering whether or not Nick Emanwari would be given a fully guaranteed deal. He's the next up in line for that fully guaranteed deal, with the 2 picks in front of him in the second round already having been given theirs. The rest of the football world probably looking at Seattle, stand pat, waiting to see what they're going to do.
And I think we're going to continue to wait. I don't think anything will happen within the next 24 hours or so. It just feels like we are in this weird holding pattern until somebody signs. And as you pointed out, it's probably going to be Nick Emanwari.
Well, it's not going to be Quinshon Judkins.
It's definitely not.
Who was drafted immediately behind Emanwari. And that might have impacted and forced Seattle's hand, right? Like if pick 36, 7, 8 were to sign, and then here at 35 he's not, well then John Schneider's in a pickle.
Right.
But you're next up and no one else has done it yet.
Yeah, Judkins did himself no favors, and I don't think he did the rest of his second rounders many favors, getting arrested on domestic violence charges too, which I mean, what are you doing, dude? just this time of year, guys getting arrested all over the place
so
in the NFL.
Weird,
it's
man.
like, you know how easy it is to not get arrested? You just do what you do. I mean,
sometimes I consider parking my car somewhere else in the lot so that the people at my apartment don't know that I just get there and don't go anywhere. I want them to
stay at home.
Yeah, I want them to think I have a do you know how easy it would be for me if my coach was like, don't do anything? I'd be like, say less.
Yeah. Oh, you just need me to go on vacation for 6 weeks between
You need me to stay in my
training
house for 6 weeks?
Yeah, absolutely.
I will absolutely do that. That's not going to be difficult for me at all.
God.
Next up, Teddy Bridgewater has been suspended from a Miami Northwestern coaching job. This one's a little tricky, though, and I think a lot of you are going to end up on Teddy's side when we actually break it down. So this stems from a Facebook post that he initially posted back in July, and he was requesting donations for Miami Northwestern for the services that they would typically use. This doesn't just include meals for the kids, some other things, but Teddy Bridgewater was paying out of pocket, for instance, for the field to get painted with numbers and hash marks.
Wow.
So things like that were coming out of his bank account directly. I think someone tattled and ended up
a hater.
I think a hater did.
From a rival school, probably.
Ended up tattling, and now he's in trouble for paying out of pocket. It's much more complicated than this. Teddy Bridgewater said, no, actually, we self-reported. Someone else was tweeting about, it sounds like maybe Teddy Bridgewater and the coaching staff, or at least Teddy, initially asked, how do we get these funds? Can we do fundraisers? And then we're told no. And then there's conflicting reports. This is not official. I'm letting you know. And then we're told no. And then it's okay, well, I'll pay out of pocket. I think that IRL, these things can be really, really complicated. All Teddy is trying to do are make sure these kids have pre- and post-game meals, rides to and from practice if they need them, and a field to play on. If they need treatment, that treatment's paid for. I think it's really cool. I think it's complicated because you obviously can't do that, or you become, these are, I don't know, not ineligible services. I'm totally blanking on the word. Impermissible benefits. However, I think that there's a very uneven playing ground with high school sports, and it would be infuriating for me if I were a coach who could afford these things to watch kids at another school get them and my kids not get them.
Yeah.
So it'd be really hard not to do what Bridgewater did.
One of the annoying punishments is that he's getting dinged for paying for Uber rides for his players, and I think in these instances, these Uber rides are just to get these kids home.
Yes.
It's kids whose parents are probably stuck at work, can't pick them up from practice right away, or practice goes late.
Well, I'd be what would you have me do then? Is the city providing
you're
a
gonna
bus
have these
to
kids
drive these
walk
kids
home?
Yeah. So what's your solution then as a school? What's your solution as a school district?
Yeah. Teddy Bridgewater did the absolute right thing in paying for these Uber rides for these kids. I don't think that should be something any school teacher or school coach should get in trouble for, because at the end of the day, the kid gets home safe. That should be the most important thing in all of this.
Yeah. Teddy Bridgewater said even though he's suspended from Miami Northwestern, he remains committed to his alma mater. He said the suspension came from NNW. That's the school. It's impossible to suspend someone who doesn't work for you. So if I'm suspended, I'm free to go to another school of my choice, but all caps, I'm not going anywhere. Free Teddy.
That's right.
Good guy. He's a good guy. All right. Mariners insider Shannon Drayer joining us at 1. We have lots of questions about this team as they head into the All-Star break, and specifically what they might look like leaving it as they take on Houston. Before we get to that, though, we got to talk about a critique someone levied towards the All-Star lineup. That's coming up next.
The All-Star Fantastic Four. It's now the Mariners Fantastic Five.
Welcome to Randyland.
As Randy Arozarena joins Andres, Brian, Julio, and Cal.
Holy smokes.
In the 2025 Midsummer Classic, tomorrow afternoon at 5 from Truist Park in Atlanta, on the home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Everyone always asks me, what were your top reasons for choosing Advanced Hair? Well, allow me to share, along with some details on, get this, their once-a-year summer savings event. Okay, first off, Advanced Hair stands by the results, and I'm living proof those results are second to none. With Advanced Hair, your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. Secondly, Advanced Hair combines top-rated physicians with modern technology, creating a concierge quality experience that blew away my expectations. And lastly, Advanced Hair's Advanced FUE begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. It is quick, simple, and easy. Now, if you have a flexible schedule this summer and you've been waiting for that special savings opportunity, well, it's here. Advanced Hair's Summer Savings Event will get you the most hair for your dollar. It's their best offer ever. For details to schedule your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. Your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
History, it had the gold rush. Then came the oil boom, the tech boom, but right now it's the Wi-Fi boom, and Xfinity Wi-Fi is booming. Xfinity has everything you need to tap into the Wi-Fi boom with seriously powerful and seriously reliable connection. It's got 99.99% network reliability and incredibly low lag, so your streams are smoother than making a decision on what to stream. And did I mention that you can even connect to hundreds of devices, so you, your kids, your parents, your poker group, and whoever else is at home can all experience the Wi-Fi boom with Xfinity. And the Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed, all in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract, all with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply, not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with X5 Complete required for unlimited data, except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards, USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Summer is here and Washington Energy's BOGO 40% off sale is on now. Update and enhance your home with beautiful new windows and doors expertly installed by Washington Energy Services. Save today with one of our best deals of the year. Buy one energy efficient window, get the second at 40% off. And BOGO 40% off all entry, patio, and interior doors right now. From traditional to modern home updates, and with over 65 years of award-winning installations, Washington Energy is the clear choice. Call today for a free estimate. The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
It is that time of year. I cannot wait for the weather to get warm like it is now on consecutive days. That means I can break the motorcycle out, ride to work, ride all over the place, and I love it more than just about anything. But I also know that it's not a matter of if, but when you get in an accident, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you, when you're injured in a motorcycle crash, don't settle for firms that say they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who live it. Law Tigers has been a part of the writing community for nearly 25 years nationwide. They're here 24/7. 365 days a year because writers deserve real support when they need it. Law Tigers is the resource writers can turn to when they are in need. Law Tigers is out at all the events and supporting all clubs and shops. The Law Tigers are always by your side. Your case evaluation is always free. There are no fees until your case settles. The Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen. And PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Oh, it's not a Wednesday at 10:45, but I have a get off my lawn-esque complaint to make. Although I think you guys are actually going to really agree, and unfortunately I will not be as funny or as riled up as Bump gets. First, some news. Cal Raleigh announced today on MLB Network that he's set to catch for USA Baseball, Team USA, in the 2026 World Baseball Classic.
You
Very
knew it was
cool.
going to happen.
Yeah,
I
had
love
to.
that. I love that. Team USA putting together a nice little roster, and I think it's cool to see that the stars of the game have embraced the World Baseball Classic the way that they have. It used to be just kind of like, oh, you'd see all these superstars turn it down and be like, oh, why is Team USA full of a lot of just kind of random guys? But now it's got star power. And I think the success of definitely, what was it, the 2023 WBC, when you had Judge and Ohtani facing each other with the championship on the line. That one obviously did a lot for the interest of that tournament. And then I think, what was it, Team USA won the previous one. I think that was like 2018,
Wasn't Mike
2019.
Trout involved in one of them? There was another big standoff. I can't remember what it was.
I forget, but Adam
Yeah.
Jones had that spectacular catch to help Team USA beat, I think it was like Puerto Rico or the Dominican Republic one year. But yeah, so
Very cool news.
very cool news to see Cal representing Team USA.
We will also see Cal representing the Mariners in the All-Star game. That lineup is out. Gleyber Torres leading off, Riley Green, Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh, Vlad Guerrero Jr., Ryan O'Hearn, your DH, Junior Caminero, Javi Baez, Jacob Wilson, Tarek Skubal, your starting pitcher. The Home Run Derby and the AL lineup are out for All-Star Week festivities. I think both are awesome, but Curtis, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that there is a tiny bit of pushback. I think this is going to happen every time there are some newer faces in a field, wherein people say, horrible lineup, horrible All-Star Derby, and I think, again, it's not unique. We see this every single year. Every single year, if you don't have a lot of repeats, you're going to get this. This is boring. Horrible home run derby, worst home run derby, worst lineup. I hate it. And you could find those kinds of comments. And granted, people complain about literally everything. People will find something to complain about no matter what. You could be given a free slice of pie and someone somewhere would complain about
this isn't
not
the flavor that I like.
Exactly. Like, people love complaining, so I get that that's inherent to what I'm about to point out here. However, it does give us an opportunity to make a really cool case for this home run derby and for this all-star group. Curtis, I really appreciate that there are a lot of new faces, in particular in the Derby, a lot of young bats, a lot of people we haven't seen before. I get people campaigning for, I'm combining the American League and National League, but I get people campaigning for, I want to see Ohtani and Judge. I want to see Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts, and I want to see all these guys, and I get that. But it's kind of cool to think, well, what if you got James Wood, who a lot of people don't get a chance to go see, who wins the Derby? Knock on wood, I hope it's Cal. But what if you get Junior Caminero in the lineup, who's having a really stellar season? I think if you look at this lineup and you think it's god-awful, you just aren't paying attention to some of these cool guys.
Right. And one first-time All-Star that stands out to me, and one that I think will be back multiple times throughout his career, is Jacob Wilson, the A's shortstop, which let me tell you something. Nobody's watching A's baseball outside of the most diehard A's fans.
And you could be forgiven for that.
Yeah, it's a ugly ballpark. It's just a team that's kind of a nomad right now in Major League Baseball. Jacob Wilson is somebody that, if you don't know about him, you're going to find out one of the best contact hitters in the game and just a really fun young player to watch. It stinks that he is in the American League West for now, but yeah, that's somebody that you're going to have to keep an eye on for sure. Junior Caminero, you just mentioned, leading all American League third baseman in home runs. I mean, heck, Cal Raleigh is a first-time All-Star.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to say
when people
he's...
critique it,
yeah.
I think they're quietly also talking about they can't really critique Cal because he's leading the league in home runs, and you have to be aware of that. But I think there's a lack of big-name like, take away Vlad Guerrero Jr., who's always in there, and obviously Aaron Judge, who's unreal.
Mm-hmm.
And you can, in theory, get, okay, there aren't a lot of big names, guys that people pay attention to, but, like, I think this is a really cool team. I think it's very interesting. I think this is a great home run derby.
I think so, too. And if you can't be entertained by the All-Star break, and if you can't be entertained by what we're going to see tonight, I mean, I think that's more of a reflection of how you view baseball than it is the talent that's on display.
If you can't enjoy a derby without Pete Alonso and Shohei Ohtani.
I mean, heck, look who won it last year. Teoscar Hernandez.
Neither one of those two.
Yeah, exactly. He is not somebody that is a household name in baseball. Like, he's a really good player, and we obviously know him here for his 1 year spent with the Mariners, but, like, you didn't need to have, Judge or Ohtani in last year's home run derby for it to be a compelling watch.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, in the years that Julio competed in the home run derby, he had what he lost to. I know he lost to Juan Soto, that was 2022 in LA. I forget who won the whole thing in 2023. Of Vlad Guerrero Jr. But there were also, guys in the derby. Adley Rutschman,
who became the story of that one, hitting from both sides.
Yeah, Randy Rosarena had a really good derby performance. So you may not know some of these names right now, but you will probably know a lot of them by the end of the night for sure in the derby, especially some young talent on display. And then whoever, who knows how the game goes tomorrow, there could be a performance where a guy hits, grand slam or something, and you're going to know about him. I think nobody knew who Jarren Duran was before last year's All-Star game, and then he won the MVP and then put together a really phenomenal season for the Red Sox. This year hasn't been nearly as successful as he was a year ago, but he's definitely a name that people know for multiple reasons, but definitely for his prowess on the field.
Perhaps a down year for the American League is behind some of the criticism, and I completely understand, but I think this is accomplishing part of what baseball wants it to. Part of what they want to do is sell tickets, butts in seats, eyes on the TV. You're watching the people that are top, jersey sellers, and I completely understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Judge, one of those guys. Another thing that they want to do is introduce people to, future stars and people that are making a big impact on teams that maybe aren't getting a lot of attention, right?
Yeah.
And I think that is always really cool. And I hope those guys knock it out of the park.
Hey.
Except for when Cal Raleigh is playing against them.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm combining both the All-Star game and the Derby in this case with some of these guys. But I don't know. I think that it has become a pet peeve I didn't know I had, to have people complain about something when it's like, I'm sorry, are you complaining that, like, the same guys that are always there aren't there? Most of them have, like, pulled out of the game or declined invitations.
Yeah.
MLB would love it if some of these guys would participate, but they're choosing not to. So just deal with that.
Exactly. And I think people are kind of worried that the home run derby will turn into the slam dunk contest, where it's, like, not exciting anymore.
Except that this year's leader in home runs is there.
Right. And also, outside of O'Neal Cruz, I think the entire field is all-stars.
Yeah. So what are you talking about?
You didn't have to go out and get, Daniel Vogelback to go perform in the home run derby the way the NBA has like end-of-the-bench guys and G League guys in the dunk contest. No, the home run derby still means something.
Well, let's find out what the Mariners got to focus on here. I know we're jumping ahead a week. We still have a lot of All-Star festivities to talk about, but we do need to focus on Houston, focus on the task at hand, which is winning the AL West. Shannon Drayer joining us next.
If you haven't subscribed to Seattle Sports on YouTube,
it's amazing. We just got to keep hammering it home.
You're missing part of the game.
The rest is history.
There's so much more than what happens on the field.
This is the place I love.
Subscribe now for in-depth inside information with Brock and Salk.
The Mariners' hit rate was way higher than that.
Bump and Stacy.
Cal's like a coach out there.
Wyman and Bob.
One day, breaking that record would be pretty cool.
Stream it live with the local sports leader on YouTube, Seattle Sports.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
Are you worried about economic conditions, tariffs, and inflation? Are you tired of trying to time the stock market? Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given current market volatility. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years with zero investor losses, averaging double-digit returns since inception, and we also accept IRAs. Over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Feeling uneasy? Don't gamble your hard-earned money or risk your retirement. Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited openings for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This is my life. This is my family's life. The people that work here, they're my family. When something's not right with them, it's not right with us.
We get notifications every time we get a review.
And I said, how do you not let it eat you up? Sometimes I feel so responsible. And his answer was, I just look at it as an opportunity. We need that feedback to learn and to do better. I'm grateful for the feedback.
Big part of sales is the relationship aspect. People want to do business with someone they can trust, who's a real person. They don't feel like you're just going after their money. And when you take the time to get to know them, get to know their needs, not be a car salesman, but be a consultant, then they feel more comfortable with you, and just the experience is better on both sides.
It's not about closing deals. It's about opening relationships, helping people make the right choice. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
The countdown is on.
9 days until Seahawks training camp.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. 710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Tonight, Cal Raleigh faces off against, I guess some other people we're really excited to see. We just hope they don't win in the Home Run Derby. This is going to be at 5 p.m. We're also airing it on Seattle Sports. And tomorrow, it is the All-Star Game. Cal's going to appear in that one as the starting catcher for the American League, and he will be batting fourth.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
We go now. Joined now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline by Mariners insider Shannon Drayer. Shannon, what a way to end a series before the All-Star break. We were coming off getting swept by the Yankees, feeling real down about this team, and then they go out and just punch the Tigers in the mouth. Curtis and I opened the show by talking about what we liked, loved, and maybe disliked from this series. I won't ask you the exact same question, but what's one thing from that series against Detroit that is kind of sticking with you entering the All-Star break?
Well, I think the biggest thing is just an overall reminder of who they are. And they're a baseball team that can be so annoying at times. Not to the other team, but to us. They are a team that you just, and I know I've said this for years now, and this is a different team than the teams that I said this about, but sometimes it does feel like, here we go again. It's a roller coaster. It is an absolute roller coaster with them throughout a season. But you look at that series, you look at that game one, and I turned around and said to anybody who would listen after game one in Detroit and said, this is why you can't give up on them. They had no business going in there and doing what they did that night. They just, there are so many things that you see, and you're just seeing it at game time, and you don't see everything that happens before game time. But that was one of the most brutal losses I've seen in a long time. And the clubhouse was about as down as I've seen it. And there were some things that were going on, and it was tough. And, oh, by the way, you arrived in New York 3 days earlier at 3 a.m. You are going to arrive in Detroit at 3 a.m. because for some reason that was a 7 o'clock game. And you're going to have to face the best team in baseball right now in Tarek Skubal. Good luck coming off of all of that. And, 3 a.m. arrival in Detroit, routines all – just all over the place with the different, with this whole series. I mean, there are time changes. There are day game, night game, day game, night game, day game, day game. And it's like you can't even establish any kind of sleep pattern. And then, of course, you heard there was a small fire at the hotel before game 3, before Sunday's game. And so you had 26 players and one cat out on the sidewalk for 45 minutes at 4 o'clock in the morning. I mean, none of it. Everything was thrown at them. But, taking it back to game 1 against Detroit, that's Skubal. You're not supposed to win that game. And they absolutely demolished the Tigers coming off of everything that they had come off of. And, to me, it just said, okay, it's a roller coaster. It has got more twists, turns, the steepest drops, the highest climbs. But, you just better harness in and get ready for whatever comes up in the second half, which hopefully includes some help. But those guys aren't giving up, so you better not give up.
It's funny, Shannon, because last year when the Mariners went to Detroit, they were on the receiving end of a series sweep, and that sweep kind of catapulted the Tigers into what they have been for really the last calendar year, and that's been just a juggernaut out in the American League Central. So I'm not to say that the Mariners are going to turn into what the Tigers are right now, but Shannon, do you think a series win like that, a series sweep like that, what we saw over this weekend, can be a jumping off point for this Mariners team as they enter the season's second half?
I don't know. Did you just listen to everything I just said? We very well could see something like the Yankees series again. I don't know. You know, I've been asking for this, just some consistency, just a smooth path to the postseason. Just, you know, let's get on some sort of a roll led by the starting pitching. And for me, this is not what we have seen from them. And, you know, perhaps, but we've looked for that a few times this year. And I do think as fun as it was to see the offense, and I think one of the eye-opening things about that is that the offense should play a much more prominent role. We know it has to be led by the pitching, but that's not to say that the offense can't do a lot for them as they go forward, too. So, you know, I do think it's possible, but the most important thing that we need to see now is that consistency with the starting pitching. We need to see them be some semblance of what they have been as a rotation the last few years, and we're not quite there yet. And that is what's going to allow them not just to go on runs, but if you get into the postseason, to have that confidence. They don't have that. You know, you're going to get a really good performance from Brian Wu right now, and it's going to be 6 innings, but it has been 6 innings, you know. You need, I think, when you go on that kind of run, you need your guy. And the Mariners, and I call it the win day for a team, when you come to the park as a member of that team, knowing you're going to win the ball game that night. They haven't had that this year. And they've had that every other year. And this year, you know, in recent past, and I mean, you can take that all the way back to Felix. You know, you knew that coming to the park. And it's, I think, it's kind of a little bit of a mental break for them when they have that. It's also tough on the other side, too. And conversely, when you lose that game, like Scooble did the other day, it's a little bit of a shock for the team on the other side because they do come in thinking that they're going to win that game. Logan Gilbert was supposed to be that guy. You know, a lot of us had Logan Gilbert written down as a Cy Young candidate. That obviously can't happen now, not because of what he's done since the injury, but because he, you know, missed so much time. But there's nothing to say he still can't be the Cy Young candidate type of pitcher. And I think we get closer and closer to that. But I think that they really, really need that one guy at the top of the rotation that kind of gives you that confidence every time you're going into a game. And I think things fall into better place, not just with the rotation, but also with the bullpen in that situation. So I don't know that this series propels that. I'm sure it reinforces some things like, yeah, we've got a good offense, but that's more about Randy Arozarena basically being Cal for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And that's more about Dom Canzone over the last month and a half that he's been with a team establishing that, yeah, he's a thing. He can play off. He's a hitter. And Polanco all of a sudden figuring out how to get the ball in the air again. Those aren't things that happened in those 3 days. Those things were happening as they came along.
We had a couple listeners who were texting in, well, gosh, now I'm a little worried that if Jerry DiPoto saw this version of this team against the Tigers that they won't add. And I said, don't worry. I don't know that Jerry DiPoto thinks the version we saw against the Tigers is like the true version of this team. That being said, Shannon, if you had to try to put yourself inside the minds of some of the Mariners' decision makers, where would you be seeing the holes on this team? What would you be feeling pretty good about, not named Cal? And where would you see some holes that you'd like to add, even given this series against Detroit?
Well, I think a little bit of it is going to be where can you add and what is going to be available. It's never as much as you are hoping that is available. Some years there are stars available, some years there are not. Some years there are just, you know, a tier below the stars that are available. Some years there aren't. Some years there is nothing, next to nothing available offensively. So I think that will play a big part into that are the Diamondbacks truly going to go into sell mode? They didn't last year, and I think that hurts the chances of that happening this year because things worked out pretty well for them when they didn't do that last year, and they found themselves in the playoffs. So I think that is going to play into it. I think corner infield. I think it would be very tough And I very much like what both Ben Williamson and Cole Young are doing. I feel great with Ben Williamson over at third base. The offense, I think you can live with if everything else is clicking. And I think the offense will continue to improve. And he has contributed. It's not a zero in the lineup at all. But you have to have kind of one of those players that is primarily a glove. You can't absorb too many of them. I think Cole Young, we're starting to see him turn into Cole Young at the big league level, and that takes a lot of adjustment when you first come up. I don't think there are a lot of answers at second base. If you could go out and get an offensive second baseman, I would consider that. First base, absolutely. If you can go find an offensive first baseman, if Josh Naylor is available, I think that would be a great move for this team to make. Could you do something in the outfield? Perhaps, but I like what I'm seeing from Canzone. And I think that one of the things that happens if you upgrade any of those positions is then you're going to get somebody that's done some things for this team into more of a bench role, giving better options off of the bench. One of the things that we have seen over the last month very quietly, and I think that is helping and did help over these last 3 days, is we've really seen the bench players go from where they were basically turned into platoon players, partly due to injuries and then partly due to just the switch, the switches, the left-right and the left-right and platoon advantages that Dan Wilson likes to make in games. He's not doing that as much right now. So all of a sudden, you're seeing far fewer at-bats from Miles Mastrobuoni, far fewer at-bats from Dylan Moore, and, guys getting the opportunity to stay in games longer, stay in games if they do go to a same-handed reliever, things like that. And I do think that that's helping those players. And I think it kind of strengthens your bench as well. Mastrobuoni, you feel good about, when you put him in just about anywhere. He's a smart base runner. He can make contact. He's doing good things. Dylan Moore, we've seen some signs that the bat is starting to come around a little bit more. You love him on the base paths. You feel good about him when you have to put him out in the field and spell somebody. But those are the roles that they should be in right now, not playing a straight platoon role and playing every other day. So that has helped, and I think kind of what we have seen with Canzone coming on strong has helped that too. When you go and you add another player, that's going to put another good player on the bench and contribute to that as well and give better options than Dan has had.
Shannon, I don't know if you've gotten a chance to read Jeff Passan's piece today on Cal Raleigh and just kind of the evolution of him as a player and now as a household name across all of baseball. But you've been covering this Mariners team and have, worked alongside a lot of guys who have become superstar players, Ichiro, Felix, to name a couple. But what was it like maybe watching those guys kind of harness their powers and become what they became, and watching Cal in this season go from obviously a known commodity here in Seattle, but to now somebody who is going to be, as it was just announced about a half hour ago, starting for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic?
Yeah, I mean, it's meteoric, and it is somebody who was not, Felix Hernandez had all sorts of advance before he made it to the big leagues at 19 years old and turned into King Felix. Ichiro, all sorts of advance before he came over from Japan. A lot of skepticism too, but he put that to rest pretty much the minute the season started. So these were players that I think were probably, I don't know if prepared. Ichiro certainly prepared because he was already a superstar in Japan. Felix a little more insulated because he was a starting pitcher and he only played every 5 days. With Cal, this was an explosion. It's not that he came out of nowhere, and I do think over the last couple of years, people who see him play every day and people in Seattle really got, the feeling about what he was all about, and he became very popular within Seattle, but all of a sudden to be a household name. And thank you, Jared Kelnick. You really helped out with that and naming him the Big Dumper. Some of the, the mystique for I just saw David Ortiz asking Cal Raleigh, where does that name come from? And everybody knows where that name comes from. It's hilarious to see that. So, it's very different. Julio had a lot of advance as well. So to see him rocket as fast as he has is very eye-opening. The fact that he could handle it is not eye-opening. We've been around him long enough to know that. But I think the big difference with him is he has done this all the while embracing the leader mode. You know, you take it back even 2 years, he was the leader of the pitching staff. He took all of that on. You take it back last year and this year, he absolutely wants to lead this club. And, you know, that's very unique. He hasn't been allowed really to grow into that, just focusing on him. He's had to focus on others, some by job as being a catcher, and others by choice as wanting to be the guy. And the others didn't have that. You know, they were allowed to grow into their roles. So I find it very different. And one of the things, and I've heard bits and pieces of a lot of what was in Passan's article, and I love some of the fill in the blanks that he was able to put there. One of the really interesting things, and we got a pretty good picture of what happened with the signing and afterwards, and it was just absolutely insane that Cal was able to keep that all quiet throughout spring training. Nobody in the media knew. In fact, I think most people thought it was going in the opposite direction. Cal said he did not tell many teammates. I think he told one or two about it. And he's going through getting ready for a season with, you know, a life decision like that, and then going in and sitting down. And I knew, and if you heard him talk even in his introductory press conference after signing it, you know, he wants to be somewhere on a team that's going to be successful. And he's going to do everything that he can do to help that. But the idea that he went in with a list and the things that he had written out, I didn't know there was a list, but I knew that he wanted a full rundown on everything that was going on in the entire system. And I've had people tell me that he knows more about Mariners minors and the players in the minor leaguers, you know, than most. And he is very invested in what is going on below and where this team is going to be, not just this year, but next year. And I know there have been times that we've been on trips, or I've seen we've even been home and somebody's come down on the field. You'll see him talking with Jerry DiPoto. You'll see him talking about Justin Hollander. And, you know, he's comfortable going out and saying, hey, what's the status of this? What's the status of that? Where's this player? Where's that player? Are we going to get any help with this? Are we going to get any help with that? And I think that he's a great person to have in that position, because I think that the day that he stood in front of his locker at the end of the season and said, we need this, and we need this, and we need this, and we need this, and knowing the place that it came from, that was a conversation. And credit to, if it stung for a few minutes, I know that there was a lot of respect for it later and a lot of appreciation for it, because what that was a young player displaying ownership in his own team.
She's
married. It was, yeah. Okay. Yes, I am.
Oh, no.
But I think that and it, just sum it up, that's what he has been for a while. And it's, I think, a very unique at this stage of the game. He's still a very young player, really, if you think about it. But very invested in everything, not just what's happening this year, but the entire organization. And it's unique to see.
It was just so well said, Shannon, and summed up. I was like, bars. Surely I
Shut
can...
up, Shannon. You're there. Stop.
No. But I'm so, literally, I was nodding along when you were talking about it, because it was the exact same part of the article that stood out to me, was the point about that 2.5-hour meeting, sitting down with them and going, okay, well, I have some questions to go over before I sign. And I was just thinking, oh man, to be a fly on the wall for that conversation. I'd also like to know the Mariners' plans.
Tell us everything.
Tell us everything.
And he won't.
No.
He probably knows everything.
Yeah.
And he won't.
It's like when you find out the directors of like Game of Thrones were told like how certain characters end, and it's like, it'd be cool if you could just tell us.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if we could know too. Anyways, okay, now I'm going to kick you off. She is Mariners insider Shannon Drayer. Shannon, you're the best. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Shannon.
You got it, guys.
Before we get to 4 Down territory quickly, I don't know if we'll have complete time, but I liked Shannon pointing out that, kind of going back to that controversial moment Cal found himself in.
Mm-hmm.
Cal, this was not a universally praised thing. There were a lot of people that really loved that Cal came out and said, hey, you got to add, because people were upset. But Curtis, I remember getting texts on our text line of people going, I don't know, I thought that was also kind of rude. You got to think about, you're ultimately talking about not believing the guys in that clubhouse with you are enough. And while I think Cal later became aware of that, and that was kind of part of his apology, was saying like, hey, I got to play better. There's accountability. Like, you're kind of aware of like, I hope no one feels like I'm calling them out.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was not only really, really refreshing, but I really liked Shannon saying it might have stung for the Mariners to hear it, but on the flip side, to have a player, instead of saying like, I can't wait to get out of here, saying, okay, so what are we going to do about it?
Yeah.
Is really refreshing.
It is a mindset change. And I think Cal kind of plays in the way that we all kind of envision how like we would do it if we got that opportunity, where like plays every day and
plays through injuries
and is that he's kind of the mouthpiece of the clubhouse in a way, where
he's got an old school baseball.
He really does. And I think that's why his popularity spans generations. I mean, Julio's popularity is very much with the kids. It's very much with, the young adults. But I think the older fans in town have a bit harder time connecting with him, just because like he plays in such a way that, is not how the game was played in, the 70s and 80s and early 90s and whatnot. And that's, I'm not saying that like you're out of touch if you don't like Julio. Like I can see why
it's not a universal.
It's not a universal appreciation. Whereas Cal Raleigh, like you got babies wearing big dumper jerseys. You've got kids that
they have no baseball opinion.
Right, but you've got kids that are probably the one thing that you measure a player's popularity with is during the Little League World Series. They will have the starting lineups, and every kid will say who their favorite player is. And if there's like a team from the Northwest and the Mariners are doing good, it's usually a Mariner player.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you're going to see Cal Raleigh's name said a lot during the Little League World Series in terms of like, my favorite player is Cal Raleigh.
Yeah.
Also, the Mariners are going to play at the Little League World Series later this year. So that's going to be cool. But yeah, I think Cal's popularity is just, it spans the generations, and it's because of stuff like that. It's because he's unafraid to really kind of say the important things. And that's what, all the time we get on our text line, like, why doesn't this guy just speak up and say that? Well, it's like, well, Cal does. Cal is absolutely one of those guys that will put some pressure where pressure is needed to be. And I think it is so refreshing to have a superstar athlete in this town that just kind of gets it, that just understands. And I think Shannon brought up a good point too, in that where he came from, where his career started to where he is now, like you can tell that he has climbed his way to where he is. It hasn't just been like handed to him on a silver platter.
No, there's something very likable about, first of all, I think Julio gets more hate than he deserves.
I think so too.
I'll say that the inverse of this is also true, where when you come out and you have a ton of praise, Bryce Harper got a lot of this too. When you do have a lot of praise and expectation, it's people there is a portion of people, not everyone.
Yeah.
And if you don't feel you belong to this group, then you don't. But there is a portion of baseball fandom that sometimes roots for you to fall. They want to see a giant tumble. And they want to see that, whether it was Bryce Harper, people were like, I don't like his attitude. Just fine-tooth comb with everything in his game. And that's also the case with Julio. In Julio's case, he's been floundering. He's hitting more ground balls than ever. Like, the strikeout rates are down, but you want to see more slugging. I get it. There's real critique there. But as a teammate, by all accounts, wonderful guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's not a problem. It's just something he's working through. So I will acknowledge that there is not necessarily a far easier path just because you are, a top prospect. But there is something more relatable, I think, for more people.
Yeah.
To look at someone who, in Jeff's article, he says, like, one of Cal's was cut from a team when he was younger, and then someone told him, like, your ceiling is like D3. Like, that's all you're going to do.
Dang.
And it, like, corresponded around that time with Cal's dad being fired.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was this kind of, like, within the Raleigh family, both of them, like, especially led by Todd, his dad, being like, okay, we are going to, like, you can use that for fuel.
Right.
And ultimately, the thing that matters is that you just keep pushing through. And I don't know. I think it must also be really impactful to watch a parent go through that kind of struggle and see them and see how they model perseverance. I think that's a really interesting part of the article, that relationship getting explored. And yeah, it's just, Logan Gilbert at one point is quoted as saying, like, yeah, I didn't think he'd stick around. Like, when he was sent back down, you might have become friends with someone.
Right.
You're coming up with them, but you're probably thinking at that point,
He's last time I get to play with that guy.
Exactly. And by all outward appearances, fairly thinking that.
Yeah.
Thinking this guy's he's batting like 0.62.
Yeah.
He's a third-round pick who was seen as a reach.
Was never viewed as a top 10 prospect.
And doesn't necessarily profile as an elite catcher, like a little too long, but like maybe not athletic enough to be like an infielder. I could see why so many people were like, yeah, man, this is a bummer. What a nice guy. Too bad. And just being able to turn that around is pretty crazy. All right, get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776. Let's see what's on tonight.
What's on tonight with Bump and Stacy, brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot. Now, here's what's on tonight.
Speaking of the devil, it's the Home Run Derby. You can watch Cal Raleigh in tonight's field. Coverage from Atlanta begins at 5 p.m. right here on Seattle Sports and ESPN.
He's the southpaw from down under, Ryan Roland Smith with Wyman and Bob.
What was your reaction to Julio making the All-Star squad?
Julio going to the All-Star game is nothing but great. It's good for his confidence. I would say J.P. Crawford had a bigger case at shortstop than Julio did at center field to make the All-Star game. When you have a leadoff hitter with the on-base that he has, I thought J.P. had a bigger case.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
Start having fun. Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen. And PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone, now through July 28th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Dave Wyman joined by a very special guest, Dr. Daniel Landis. He's on the Swedish CyberKnife team treating prostate cancer and accepting new patients. Dr. Landis, what could patients expect during CyberKnife treatment?
So the CyberKnife treatment's an outpatient procedure. Essentially, it's a 5-day treatment, about 30 minutes per day. You walk in, you walk out. You essentially don't feel anything at all during treatment. Many patients still work full-time while they're having treatment.
That's incredible. Where are your patients from?
We see patients from all over, patients from out of state, Alaska, Idaho, from all over the world, honestly, since it's such a short treatment.
How can someone get a hold of you?
Yeah, I would encourage patients to reach out to us directly. We'd be happy to schedule a consultation.
Thank you, Dr. Landis and the team at Swedish CyberKnife for the wonderful work they do. And remember, you don't need a physician's referral. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife. Go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. That's swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business, powering possibilities.
Now through July 21st, new Comcast Business customers can find out how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how you get a $500 prepaid card for your business. Call and switch to Comcast Business today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Early termination fee applies.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
Stacy, first down to you. What did you hear recently from former Seahawks first-rounder Byron Murphy that caught your attention?
That he wants to focus on pass rushing because he'll be playing more 3-tech.
This offseason, I've mainly been focused just on pass rushing because this year, coming up, this season I will be playing a lot more 3-tech, so really just been focused on pass rushing, man. That's my biggest focus right now.
Not only is this really cool for him, maybe an ability to add a couple stats that he wouldn't otherwise have, but it also speaks to things that we're always watching when it comes to Mike Macdonald's defense, the versatility they really lean into, how they want to play guys, being able to shift guys around, confuse offenses, and I think that this is one of those things where you're tracking to see, okay, well, 3-tech, like regularly? Like how often? Yeah. Like what are we looking at? And so, it's like a little thing to kind of hear once, keep in the back of your mind. I know that Brian Nemhauser, Hawk blogger who has his own podcast but was on with Salk this morning, has also talked with Byron, I think, about some of this stuff too. So I'm very curious to whether we interview him or whether someone else does once camp kicks off, kind of ask about, so how does Mike Macdonald want to use you this year? Anything you feel free to let us know all the secrets.
Second down. Stacy, we've got the conclusion of the ESPN top 10 position list today with the quarterbacks. What are your biggest takeaways?
I have two. One is very obvious, and one is something that I just personally took issue with. The one that's very obvious is there is no Sam Darnold. It's at least relevant, right? We're here covering the Seahawks. You guys are Seahawks fans, so we want to be able to tell you if he made the list. You're not going to be surprised that he did not. He also was not in honorable mentions, nor was he in others receiving votes, though a few surprising names were. Aaron Rodgers, for example. Yes, a one-time, 4-time MVP, but I don't know how high expectations are for him this year. Still in the other receiving votes category, so maybe that's just some long-held respect for Aaron Rodgers. Moving on, though, to the other one that stood out to me. Sometimes it's way more interesting, more telling, maybe a little spicier to look at the lowest rankings that a few of these guys have had. So in this list for Jeremy Fowler, which again, he's surveying people who know ball. He's talking to scouts, to executives, to coaches and other guys around player personnel. And they have the highest ranking they have for a player and the lowest ranking that player received. So, for instance, with Patrick Mahomes, who came in as the number one guy, highest ranking, obviously number one, with the vast majority of people ranking him as the number one quarterback. Lowest ranking, number 4. So you don't find out how many people said he was 4th. You don't find out who said that he was their 4th best quarterback. All you know is that at least someone that Jeremy Fowler surveyed had him as their 4th best quarterback. I got stumped on Lamar, man. He's number 4 on this list, and I think that I agree with Mina Kimes, who tweeted about this. When you look at the top 4 guys in no particular order, if you go, okay, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar, Joe Burrow, great. Like, I think that there are fans who could make a case for taking any one of those guys. The vast majority of people will go with Mahomes first overall, but sure, there's a world where Lamar at 4th is like, all right, fine.
Yeah.
You know, someone ranked him 6th. I don't know, which is weird for people who, I mean, again, these are football people. I don't know that I'd take in a game tomorrow 5 quarterbacks, definitively, no doubt in my mind, over Lamar. And I already know that someone listening is like, I would. Okay, I wouldn't. And I don't know a lot of people who would. And I am talking about a game that starts tomorrow. This isn't like you want to invest in Jaden Daniels because he's young. You need to win a game tomorrow. Who are the 5 quarterbacks you're taking ahead of Lamar? I'm surprised that there were people that had 5 quarterbacks.
If you're one of those people that wouldn't, you're the guy at the party that the other ball knowers roll their eyes at.
Yeah, because you just try to be a contrarian.
Yeah.
Or you lean on really old narratives. Like,
that.
I'll tell you 2 really washed narratives about Lamar. One is like, he doesn't perform in the postseason. What do you mean? He's been to the AFC Championship game.
Right.
So is Josh. You know why they don't perform? Because Patrick Mahomes has been in the way
Kansas City
both times.
Chiefs.
I'm sorry, is your knock that Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are a better team? Cool.
You know who else hasn't performed in the postseason in the AFC the last 6 years?
Everyone.
Everybody.
Every single person, because it has been it has been Patrick Mahomes every single time in that game. He hasn't won every single time. Joe Burrow got past him. But, oh my God, and then the other one being that, this one's a little more dated. I don't know many people who lean into this, but he just runs the ball. Again, a bad football take, a really ill-informed football take, but I could see an argument for someone going, he wouldn't fit my dream offense. Like the offense I would want to run, I truly think, let's say Justin Herbert would be better for it. I don't know, man. Lamar's been there, done that. He's so dynamic. I was surprised to see 6 as a ranking that someone had for him.
Pretty egregious. 3rd down.
That was a Chargers personnel executive.
I think so.
That was someone with the Rams or the Chargers or someone that was with Washington. I don't know.
You think it was Jim
There's some home
Harbaugh trying to
cooking.
give John Harbaugh some guff
I
there?
would love it if that was the case.
3rd down. What don't you want to see at training camp?
I do not want to see a wide open center battle late into the offseason. I do not want to hear that this team really liked what they saw from some walk-on guy from a school that you didn't even know how to football program on September 1st. I do not want to hear that on September 6th they have added a 37-year-old as a free agent and they really think that he could shake things up. I want to hear that they are very confident in someone. I want to see Olu Oluwatimi taking regular first-team reps, or Jalen Sundell, whoever it ends up being. This has been a position that's been a revolving door for Seattle. Not only that, but it's been a revolving door without a lot of success. It's not like they've had 1 or 2 good seasons and it's, then he got hurt and it just didn't work out. It's just they've not drafted, developed, or signed guys to really take care of that position. And I think that even if I don't believe in whoever they have, or if listeners are looking at who they have and they don't believe, I'm fine with that. I don't need to make that roster decision. I want to know they really believe in this guy. So I'd love to see that battle seem settled relatively. It doesn't have to be early in camp. It is quite literally a battle right now, but I'd love to head into September knowing who the center is going to be.
4th down. Stacy, which Seahawk would win a home run derby?
I thought it would be fun if we both wrote down the Seahawk that we would choose in the home run derby and then said it at the same time. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
John
Gray's
Reese
Abel.
Plumlee.
So obvious.
I don't even know if many people know who John Reese Plumlee is.
Well, you unfortunately chose someone.
Practice squad receiver, hit 10 home runs.
Boring.
Playing for Central Florida's baseball team.
Boring.
During his senior season just a couple of years ago, 2023. That's legit power. 10 home runs?
I need you to choose not on proven ability, but on potential.
On just vibes and vibes alone?
I need you to go on vibes. I'm thinking of when they did batting practice and Gray Zabel, and you made that great joke, which it went viral.
The Seahawks even posted on their Instagram account.
Of Gray Zabel looking like every power hitter in a 90s baseball movie. And I was like, yes, that's who I want to see in the Derby.
I think
he's going to swing and miss at everything, but he will have power.
Yeah. I don't know how Abe Lucas is swinging the bat. Maybe him?
I thought Jackson for a minute because his brother's a baseball player, but Jackson had a choice to go baseball.
Maybe one of the maybe AJ Barner.
I know Sam's a good golfer.
Yeah.
So I know that I don't think those two things are closely related, but are maybe
it's
in
a
the
completely
same.
different
I
swing.
think they're in the family. They're in the family. I would think that in the things of you are good. If you are a good golfer, you are a good baseball player. I think there's a little overlap between those two things. Not a lot, but I think there's some overlap. You know. I refuse.
I'm
to
sticking
be
with John
convinced
Reese
otherwise.
Plumlee.
That's fine. Okay, get your questions in for what I need to know. 866-979-3776.
MLB Network insider John Morosi every week with Wyman and Bob.
Can they do enough at the trade deadline?
They don't have to necessarily be in first place by the end of July, but you need to show the front office that this team is worth adding to. But they need to show you more from guys who are not named Cal Raleigh. I'd be paying very close attention. Emerson, Young, Celestin to see who potentially could be the one that they move.
See the full conversation on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors. When you hear Harley Exteriors, I want you to think windows manufactured right here in Washington and specifically designed for our Pacific Northwest homes and climate. These are the windows you want. They look absolutely stunning, much better than a traditional vinyl window, and they're going to lower your energy bills and provide year-round comfort. They also come with a double lifetime, fully transferable warranty, meaning not only are you covered for glass breaking or damaged seals, it's going to help your resale and home value. These windows last up to 60 years. Harley Exteriors is making these windows affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. In July, Harley Exteriors is offering 50% off basic installation, no payments, no interest for 12 months, and an additional $200 off your project. Think Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more right here in the Puget Sound. Call 833-HARLEY or just go to harleyexteriors.com.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. Are they a reliable service? How will I know if something happens? Are they keeping everyone safe? At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today to talk to a local security expert.
Why is Mazda of Everett the #1 dealer on the West Coast? Mazda of Everett is locally owned and operated for 20 years. They work hard to get you their best deal every time and to make sure you drive away happy. With over 700 new Mazdas, they stock more than anyone in the Seattle area. Find out for yourself why people keep coming back to Mazda of Everett. Take advantage of the Mazda of Everett price during the More to Move You sales event. MazdaofEverett.com. Claims based on Mazda USA inventory and sales reports.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health, it's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours. The Bump and Stacy Show is powered in part each day by the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com.
If you want that summer body you've always dreamed of, then this message is for you, ladies, and you men, too. Get rid of extra stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin around the waistline, chin, and under the upper arms with ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat-freezing methods, even those new pills, but without the desired results. ProSculpt is different. It's minimally invasive, performed while fully awake, gentle, yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate, permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. If you want that summer body this summer, then you must act now. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation. Get $250 off. For instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening, visit ProSculpt.com.
Summer is the time to feel and look your best, but I'm not talking about your abs or tan. Guys, I'm talking about your hair. Restore that bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning during Advanced Hair's once yearly summer savings event. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your very own hair the very next day, and they guarantee your new hair will grow. They are the team that addressed my hair loss, and I recommend them to everyone. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar. Advanced Hair's summer sales event is on for a limited time. So get the details and schedule your free consultation today. 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. With Advanced Hair, your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Check out the incredible before and afters and make the call now while their summer savings event is still on. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776. Bump isn't here, Curtis, so we can answer this question about him. Someone said, what's the funniest thing Bump does?
The funniest thing the Bump does?
Well, for a while, my answer was, when Bump describes a player who's not on the team, he says, who's no longer with us. And for the longest time, it would sound like...
It sounded like it's as though they had died.
So people would sometimes text in. Like he said, Poona Ford, who's no longer with us, and then would keep talking. And like, I think someone texted in like, oh my God, did Poona Ford die?
Did he die? Is he okay?
So there's just, for the longest time, Bump would just describe. And like, it didn't happen a lot. It would be like probably 3 times ever.
Yeah, but each time they were hilarious.
That was my favorite Bump thing.
And then we would be like, Bump, no, you got to say he's no longer a Seahawk because people are going to think they died. And
yeah,
like, what?
was Bump with the jump scare of people thinking that all these players had died.
I think that's a great answer. Bump has got a very dry sense of humor as well.
Yeah.
Where he'll say some funny stuff that you don't notice right away, and then you think about it and be like, wait a minute. Did you actually say that?
You guys will both do that, and it makes me so mad because I'll be like, I remember what was it when it was flushing toilets?
It was talking about something about Australia.
Yeah.
And then I said something about how toilets flush the other way.
I don't remember what it was, but it was a joke that was like, it wasn't even like, oh, dad joke. It was just like a very subtle, dry humor joke, and you guys both have a similar sense of humor. So I kept reading it. I kept moving forward, and you guys started laughing, and you wouldn't stop laughing, and the two of you and then it didn't click for me until like a full minute or two later.
360 says he's also said rest in peace for multiple still alive. He did that. That's right.
Was
yeah.
that who it was? It was Charles Oakley.
Charles Oakley. Rest in peace, Charles Oakley. No, he's still here.
No, Charles
Anthony
Oakley
Mason is who he was
Charles
thinking
Oakley
of.
is not only alive, he is on this season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay. What I need to know, have you ever cried watching a game, even on TV, either for sadness or joy?
Sadness, I mean, it was pure shock the moment it happened, but it was Super Bowl 49, which then turned into sadness, and then, like, I could feel my eyes well up. I mean, as a kid, definitely there were, Mariners games that ended in brutal fashion. Probably 2001 when they got eliminated from the playoffs. That whole year, you're thinking, "Oh, this is going to pay off in a world championship," and it doesn't happen. That's really tough for a 10-year-old kid to
excluding being a
understand.
child. No, like as an adult, I've never cried over the outcome of a game.
Right.
I have gotten angry.
Oh, I've gotten angry.
I have gone
yeah.
on tirades, like
Definitely.
rants, like texts that we'll all send each other, and I'll be like ranting.
Yeah.
But
Game 1, 2022 ALDS.
yeah, that was a
Alvarez.
rant. That was not my best moment.
No, we were kind of egging you on, like, yeah, that's right, Stacy, yeah.
May or may not have gotten into a fight. But what I need to know, what jerseys did the Mariners wear in the Detroit series? I'll answer for you. It was the teal jerseys, which I was scoffed at last week for asking if they should wear them more often, says our next listener. I won't apologize for that. I won't apologize.
Telling you. Some magic with the teals.
What I need to know, did Cal have an advantage or a disadvantage coming up without superstar expectations? On the one hand, less pressure, less expectations, but probably less benefit of the doubt. He definitely benefited from the Mariners not being willing to sign a strong free agent catcher.
I would say it definitely helped because everything he did probably after he got called up was exceeding expectations. Like, he was never a top 10 prospect, never a top 100 prospect, was a third-round pick. I mean, did come from a pretty prestigious baseball school in Florida State, but I think he was definitely helped out, as Shannon mentioned, a lot different than the expectations that other star players have come to Seattle with. When you think about all the star players that the Mariners have had in their career, Stacy, like Ken Griffey Jr., #1 overall pick. Alex Rodriguez, #1 overall pick. Ichiro was a superstar in Japan. Felix was the #1 prospect in baseball. Like, they all came with expectations.
Yeah.
And more or less lived up to them in various ways.
I think that to the point about, like, you get the less benefit of the doubt, if Murphy doesn't hurt his shoulder and Cal is immediately called up, like, let's say that Murphy plays out the season, like, I don't know how many chances Cal is getting when they aren't in an emergency. I think they go out and they add to that room, and Cal's still seen as like, oh, he's our young guy and we have him. I don't know if you see Cal get a chance without a freak accident.
Wow, think of the butterfly effect.
That's what I'm saying.
If
like,
Tom Murphy stays healthy the rest of 2022.
If Cal was Harry Ford, if Cal was one of your top prospects, at no point are you going, oh, we're not gonna, like, you are not really that worried about Cal not getting a ton of chances, especially since he went out, was initially sent down on such a low note, like had a really bad outing. And then when he came back, you have a home run against the Mets, like, you start really, showing up. And so I do not think that Murphy getting hurt, him coming up, and then him hitting several home runs completely alters the course of his own history here. And that's because he wasn't a top prospect. He does not get that chance.
I'm looking at some of the other catchers on that 2022 team that they could have gone with instead of Cal. Luis Torrens, who was the backup catcher after Murphy went down. He played 55 games at .225, just 3 home runs. Kurt Casale, who they acquired at the trade deadline that year, hit 1 home run, hit a $125 in 16 games. Here's some other weird ones.
The confidence with
Andrew Knapp.
If I'm the scout that pushed for Cal, I am walking in to that front office every day.
Where's my raise?
Like, I don't even think I'd wear, like, I would just wear jeans and
here's some other
sandals.
fun
I wouldn't
names
even.
on
I'm
that.
chilling.
Remember Justin Upton? He was on the 2022 Mariners. I've got their baseball reference page up. He had a big home run for them that started like the 14-game win streak.
Oh, who can forget?
Man, Justin Upton. Where are you now?
What a time. All right, you guys, that'll do it for us today. Thank you again to all of our guests. I saw a couple people asking to hear from Joe Doyle again. You can go back. The Bump and Stacy podcast, he was our 11 a.m. guest. So go back. This is up around 3 p.m. It'll be hour 2 of the podcast for all of Joe's reactions to the first couple Mariners draft picks. Wyman and Bob coming your way next.
The season of Cal continues.
And the next offer on the way to Cal, swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Big Dumper is in the Derby.
Goodbye, baseball.
Like, what if Cal was doing this for the Yankees and Judge was doing this for the Mariners? Who's the MVP then?
Hear Cal Raleigh in the Home Run Derby today at 5. Live from Truist Park in Atlanta. Only on the home of the Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey friends, Stacy here. Wayscarf Ford Isuzu in Auburn is celebrating its 103rd year anniversary, and their biggest sales event of the year is going on right now. Take advantage of their great pricing on new Fords, Isuzus, and commercial vehicles. Also, large discounts on their service and parts departments. What about those of you who want to sell a car? Wayscarf Ford's vehicle profit sharing plan is the best deal out there. They purchase your car and pay you right up front. Then, when Wayscarf Ford resells your old car, they share 50% of their profit with you. They've already paid back over $800,000 to customers. At Wayscarf Ford, there's absolutely no games, no gimmicks, and no pressure. That's backed up by a full 5-day or 500-mile no questions asked return policy on absolutely every vehicle they sell. Change your mind for any reason, bring the vehicle back for a full 100% refund. So if you're like me, you want a good price, a low-key, no-pressure experience, and a full 5-day, 100% satisfaction guarantee, Wayscarf Ford is the place to go. Check them out for yourself at wayscarfford.com. Wayscarfford.com.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in Seattle. And our more than 95 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
New Harley-Davidson street glides under $265 a month at Jet City Harley. Try it out for under $265 a month on a new street glide at Jet City Harley-Davidson.
Payments based on street glide model and base color with 30% down, 96-month term, 6.99% APR with approved credit. Doesn't include freight, setup, tax, title, and license fees. See dealer for details.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service will help your company with logoed apparel, uniforms, floor mats, linen, and more. Give us a call. We answer the phone. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do. Visit suplinen.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible: overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer